Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for, well, what is supposed to be mainly a preview ahead of Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, but because all of us hate watching Chelsea games at the moment, we will probably talk about a lot of other things bar the actual game. Because, I mean, we don't even have a fit available squad. I don't even know who we're going to put in our lineup later because, well, who the flip is even available? Mate, it's an absolute shit show. I mean, as people that follow me on Twitter, by the way, if you don't, link is down in the description, at last1507, that's everywhere else as well. I had yesterday a bit of a, what's the word? a bit of a meltdown, I can't lie. I'm still kind of partly in that meltdown because most of the things this club is doing at the moment kind of trigger me. With most things that I read and see, I'm like, why are we doing that? I don't understand. Why are we doing that? Now, I have a few people here that will hopefully bring back some optimism into my mindset because I'm usually very optimistic. I know I keep going on about that the last couple of streams, even though I don't come across as optimistic at the moment whatsoever because I'm not at the moment, but I usually am. So maybe the boys can help me get back into that. Charlie, I'll talk to you first because I didn't talk to you after the Fulham game. You were obviously at the Fulham game, right? I'm pretty sure. And I mean, what do we even do at the moment? We sign a player, he looks pretty good, and then he gets himself sent off and is now suspended for 3 games, and the next time we'll see him will be February 11th. Amazing. This is just brilliant at the moment, isn't it? And Zakaria got injured to top things off. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was another poor evening on a number of poor evenings that we've had this season. Evenings, afternoons, mornings, whatever it is, it's all been pretty shit. But yeah, it was just much of the same, mate. Thursday night, as I'm sure you discussed after the game, same old story. Not good enough, not enough quality, making mistakes in defence, no brain cells in attack, no footballing IQ other than Joao Felix. But then it can only happen at Chelsea. Bring in a guy for what 20-odd games for the rest of this season, and he's now missing for a month. So the reason we brought him in was because of injuries. Now we haven't got him for the next 3 games. So now what happens? We are down to the bare bones, but ultimately we're not doing the basics well enough. The players aren't performing to the required level to wear the Chelsea shirt, and it's really hard to see where any more points are coming from. That's the biggest worry for me. We can criticize the players all we want, and rightfully so, but ultimately, we've got to start picking the points up. And I can't see how, in the current situation we're in, players and whatnot, how we get 1 point, let alone 3 points for a win. I just don't see where it's coming from. I can't suddenly see how we get to a game tomorrow and we suddenly see some sort of improvement because, all right, yeah, we beat Bournemouth and we were fairly comfortable in that game, but we've done the work when Reece James was on the pitch. As soon as he went off, we looked a bit shaky. So yeah, it's really tough right now. And, Felix was a massive plus. As soon as you put some quality on the pitch, we straight away looked like we were actually semi-cohesive as an attacking unit, which goes to show, a guy that's been in the country for what, a day or two, straight into the lineup, already our best player, best attacking player. And it just goes to show the levels of crap that we've been putting up this season from the likes of Mount, Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, Sterling, all been awful, that, we're kind of excited because someone's come in and they take a shot on goal and they link up play and they do basic things that an attacker should do. Because we've been deprived on it, we absolutely love it. So it's going to be tough. And yeah, I just don't know where the next points come from.
Mate, it's a genuine situation. I mean, and not only, are we in the problematic situation that we're in terms of form and in terms of just nothing working for us, we also have even less players available now than we already did against Fulham. like you say, where are the points going to come from? I mean, just to quickly touch on the Manchester derby earlier, maybe all we need to do is buy VAR because, apparently it works for Man United. So, I mean, they're good and they play well and, they were at least in the game much more than we ever were against Man City. But that is up there with the worst VAR calls I've ever seen in my whole life that equalizer stood. I cannot understand that happened. And hey, if you get Ronaldo off your books, you can't afford VAR. So, swings and roundabouts. Save ourselves the money on Madueke, how do you want to pronounce it? And just buy VAR. Yeah. It's going to be worth way more. Way more useful. The question is, do VAR let Chelsea buy them? Or is it just Man United and Liverpool and sometimes the Arsenal that are allowed to do that? Who knows? Who knows? Pice, I will get to you. Thank you for being on as always, mate. I appreciate it. Obviously, we already did have you on after the Fulham game, so let's not get into that again. But the news over the last couple of days, like I said earlier, and like you've realized, I'm sure both on Twitter, but especially in the group chat, I've had a bit of a meltdown over the last few days. Now, can you please, for the love of all that's mighty, tell me why we have 11, 12, whatever the number is, injuries right now, and we go for a player that's more injury prone than anyone in our squad bar Kante? I just can't understand that. I don't care how talented he is. Why would we do that? Can you tell me why we would ever consider that?
I mean, me personally, I can't. You'd have to ask the recruitment team, but yeah, it's definitely a strange one. I mean, whether or not they're deluded enough to think they can fix this guy's injuries, or they feel like his injuries are just, I don't know, unlucky, I guess. Maybe PSV don't have as good as resources as us, but at the same time, we've not exactly got good resources right now in the medical department. I know that I think Matt Law said they're officially conducting a review of it. Obviously, they brought in some physiotherapy firm or something, didn't they? Which clearly hasn't worked. And also that, it was revealed that the players aren't, they're not happy. So I think that's why they're actually doing it. Because, I think a couple of inside sources said that the players just, especially during a tough run, they don't want to see a non-familiar face. They feel like the staff, I think it was Paco, I don't know his second name, Bielsa or something like that. He got sacked, and then another one left, Thierry Laurent left as well. So yeah, clearly there's some stuff going on behind the scenes where the players don't like the medical department. But yeah, I mean, I just this is genuinely ridiculous. It is ridiculous, and to me, I'm just I can't even be bothered ranting anymore. I'm just, these owners are going to be here for 10 years. Just let them do their thing. If they want to waste money, they'll only make more mistakes. It's their fault. So, is what it is, isn't it? Can't do anything about it. If they want to buy this guy, they want to buy this guy. Simple as, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, I guess that is one way of looking at it. It's just look at the injuries there. Let me know, guys, if it's big enough for you to see. Otherwise, I can obviously zoom it in a bit. Maybe that makes it slightly easier to read. Otherwise, but look at this. This season alone, he's already missed 81 days and 18 games through an ankle injury. Now, at least this one is an ankle injury. Now, again, I don't know how it came about. But then look at last season: muscle injury, muscle injury, muscle injury, muscle injury. 4 games missed, 8 games missed, 9 games missed, 4 games missed. That is just last season. The guy's only 20 now, turns 21 in March. He might be talented. We'll get into a bit more other kind of details about the player in a minute. I did try to have your expert on this. Maybe if we do sign him, we'll have him on again to talk about that in that sense. But I just blows my mind how we can be this stupid. It frankly blows my mind. And my concern with it is, and I complained about that as well on Twitter yesterday, how many people are complaining about Potter? And I feel like everyone that does is just exploding with likes, thousands and thousands of likes everywhere when you criticize Graham Potter. When you criticize the recruitment, who have no excuse not to turn up because, the injuries don't affect them of doing anything. The lack of training time doesn't make a difference to them. They should already know what they're doing. And then you get people have a go at me. I'm like, what? I just cannot get on board with this. The fact that, you had a podcast with Nathan Gissing come out yesterday, didn't you, Pice? And Nathan in this said that we are still looking at bringing in a sporting director. Might not be right now, might be eventually. And whether that's then in the end Michael Edwards or whoever that may be. But the fact that they are still doing that tells me, well, they can't exactly think that the people we have in charge of recruitment now are the best, because otherwise, why would they consider that? But I also don't understand. So if the guys that we have now, Christopher Vivell, Winston McCauley, all these guys, it's even Winston, I forget their names, doesn't matter. You know the guys I'm talking about. If they're not taking over the role of sporting director, at least to some extent, how could Todd Bowley have possibly stepped back from it? Because that just means we don't have one now. I know we didn't, I guess, in the old ownership, but Now what? So Bodie stepped back. We don't have a new sporting director. And apparently, the people in charge of recruitment now, they don't count as sporting directors because otherwise we couldn't be looking at another one, could we?
Well, they're almost like, so Vivell and Winstanley are almost acting as like temporary sporting directors, because Vivell was actually he was employed as a technical director. I think Winstanley was more like the recruitment, like looking at players side. But I think this is,
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
But it says on every report that we see at the moment in terms of serious interest by Chelsea, every time it says pushed by Vivell.
Yeah, because he's in charge at the moment.
That he was in charge of negotiations against Enzo. No. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just trying to add something to that. Go on.
No. You will see that because he's like the head at the moment. But I think, like as Nathan said to me, there's a possibility that depending on how this window goes, they look at a sporting director and Michael Edwards. Obviously, they really like because they tried to get him to be that sporting director and negotiate what Vivell is doing right now. So, I mean. It's just a bit confusing to me why Bowley's like stepped back from negotiations all of a sudden, and it's just kind of I know he's employed these guys, but like I don't know, it feels like it's not all like complete, the recruitment side. Yeah, it doesn't what I mean?
It doesn't feel complete, and that's why I don't understand why they're doing certain moves that they are. That's why I don't understand why we have already then decided to buy players like Fofana, even Badiashile, but okay, he will at least have some sort of use in the first team this season, I would assume so. But I mean, I say that Joao Felix was just dropped straight in. Badiashile still hasn't seen the light of day, so who knows when he's going to play. But if the recruitment team isn't all ready yet, why are we signing Fofana? Why are we signing Andre Santos? Why are we doing that? Why not wait? Why not spend money on players that we need right now instead of on those guys when the recruitment team isn't even fully ready yet? I will get into an Athletic article that was released earlier this morning by Simon Johnson and Liam Toomey later, because there are some very interesting things said in that, in my opinion. But let me first before that, get to Clutch. Thank you, Clutch, for being on, as always, mate. I have heard that you were ill yesterday, still not great, so I hope you're feeling better. But we'll take a bit more of a deep dive into Madueke later, but where are you sat on things that are happening right now? Like, I just see so much confusion. Like, it started with the Enzo thing, but fair enough that we only know one side of the story. Maybe there's more to that. But I just don't understand 95% of things that we're doing. I don't see a plan with at the moment. I genuinely don't. The only plan that I see is the thing that most people complain about. It's like, okay, you stick with Graham Potter, you want to do a long-term project. At least I understand the plan. Whether it works out or not is a different discussion, a different question that only time will tell us the answer to. But at least I see a logic there. But in everything else that we do, I don't see a logic at the moment, and it's mind-boggling and concerning, genuinely concerning.
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I think I didn't have as big of a freak out as you did yesterday, mostly because I was like, I went home and went to bed, but I think in the group chat, I was kind of talking about, like, I asked the question, why are we going for these type of players that may or may not be good enough, right? So, like, when you look at, I'm not even going to try to say his name, the winger from PSV, but when you look at him, I think that is exactly what we've tried to do with the likes of Kai Havertz or Pulisic, and somebody's going to, oh, they've been better. He's been better than them. Maybe he has, maybe he hasn't. We don't know. And I'm going to say, I remember when we were talking about the Enzo transfer a couple of weeks ago, and I said, I'm 50-50 on Enzo, right? Enzo has more of a CV to tell me he is a better player than the kid from PSV is. That's how unsold I am. But I was still saying 50-50 about Enzo because it's a totally different league. It's, again, Enzo had 6 months at top flight football, right? So when you think about these transitions, I think you need to start looking at players that have been playing at the highest level. Now, the problem is I think we have so many different things that we need that it's just going to cost way too much money in the way the market works, right? So we do need Enzo, but we just can't afford to spend $120 million on him because we don't exactly know what more we also need because it's also going to cost more money, right? If you just get Enzo, you're still going to need somebody else. You're going to need that physical DM, a Cancelo or Rice. That's still going to cost you a lot of money. Cancelo himself is what, 60 million?
Isn't even a DM though. Cancelo is like a Kante, like a box-to-box, defensive box-to-box, is he not? Like, apparently he's playing incredibly well against Liverpool right now, which is fantastic news. If we're interested, hey, the more good games he has, the better. but he's still not the profile that we're lacking. So if we buy Caicedo, we still need Rice. So what fucking difference does it make?
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, but you also need that playmaker, right? Maybe Joao Felix fits that profile. Who knows how much he's going to cost next year or at the summertime if we try to go and buy him. I think there's a lot of things that go into this, and there's so many problems to fix that it's going to take a while to fix it. And I don't think our fan base is ready to take that time to fix it. They think there's going to be...
But bro, the fan base is completely irrelevant right now. It doesn't even matter what the fan base do. Bowley does what he wants anyway. But whether the fan base agree with it or not, we need Bowley to do useful, smart things. And at the moment, it doesn't feel like he's doing that. Whether the fan base accepts it or not, it's a whole different scenario. I mean, we'll have to wait and see how he and the ownership deal with fan pressure. You know, we'll see. Depending on how much longer this bad form goes on, the more we'll find out about that. But even aside from that, like some of it is longer term planning that, you know, most fans won't even grasp. You know, they're like, start Fofana, not even understand that he was never brought in to even really be used in the first team. It's only injuries that he was even used against City. You know, I mean, there's talks that if we sign Noni, but Madueke, that we might loan Fofana to them. I mean, that's the biggest sign. I'm not sure how big those rumors are, mind you, but that shows you that, you know, fans have no idea. Like, start Fofana. He's not even supposed to be here. So again, why are we signing him? Why did we spend God knows how many million? It wasn't that many, but still, why did we spend money on him only to loan him out now? Like, do we really not have more pressing concerns? Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree 100%. And this is where I think yesterday I'm starting to question like Bowley's approach to this, because it seems like he's taken the approach that he's taken with LA Dodgers, which is like, if I go buy some young kids in time, they could become those gems. And it's like, maybe one or two a season, like you said, but we're literally having things that we need first team players right now, and we need good enough players right now that a Fofana, a Badiashil's going to get a lot more time than Fofana probably will, but like even to the point where it's like, does the kid from PSV start when Sterling comes back? I don't know, because by that time, Joao Felix is back too.
Somewhere else, like Fofana.
Yeah, and it's like I just again, it's just like the plan seems to be we're gonna get young kids and hope they work out, and I don't like that. That plan is what we've tried to do, but hasn't worked. So that's where I sit.
Yeah, it's just the whole. I'm not. Is it like with the LA Dodgers again? I haven't followed those, so I'm not like, you know, sure. I can't quite compare it to that the way you can probably, but I'm like, I understand the idea of signing young talents. That's all well and good, but sign the very best talents, not some average talents that might be good when they turn 26. Do you know what I mean? Like, and someone threw it back in my face on Twitter, like, did you hear of Mahrez before Leicester signed him? Did you hear of Kante before Leicester signed him? I'm like, no. But those are two out of how many signings that the world of football makes, and how many players that come from nobody heard them to some of the best players in the world. How often does that happen? Happens basically never. So we are signing players that are 20, but they're nowhere near the best 20-year-olds. So how are we signing the best talents? Like, they were not even remotely close to the best 20-year-olds in the world. Like, the best, like, Jude Bellingham is 19, and I compare that to Fofana. And you're trying to tell me we're signing the best talents. No, we're not signing the best talents. We're just signing young players. Not the best talents, just young players. That's it. Because if we were signing the best talent in the world, we'd be signing Jude Bellingham and Enzo Fernandez and Wirtz and those types. I'm not saying that's realistic. I'm just saying you can't sit here and say we're going for these best talents, because we're just not. We're just going for somewhat talented players that no one's ever heard of. That's it. That's all we're doing. I mean, Madueke is not that no one's ever heard of him. I am very, very aware, but you get the point still. I mean, Charlie, what is your perspective on my complaints here? Like, do you see where my complaints come from? Do you see a plan? Like, I'm sure times will be better eventually. Is it next season? Is it in 2 seasons? In 3 seasons? Who knows? I'm sure it will get better. I'm sure Bowley, Ekbali, Potter, all of, you know, Vivell, Winstanley, all of them will learn on the job, and all of them will get better, and it will all work better. But like, we don't just have infinite time to make it work. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't just sit here and say, oh yeah, 5 years no Champions League, and then at some point our good young players will be good, and then we'll come fourth again. Fantastic. Do you know what I mean? Like, Price was a few weeks ago crying how he can't even accept one season without a trophy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you got to be lucky if we win another trophy in the next 5 years with how things are going. Like, that's how it feels like to me at the moment. So what's your perspective?
I don't know, I look at the recruitment thing. I look at it as like two separate sides of the recruitment process right now. One side's working well. The other side, I'm a little bit less clear on. Obviously, the clear plan is to buy talents, top talents, not necessarily the best talents in the world, but top talents that from around Europe, around South America, or wherever they're coming from, to then build those players into good players for the future. That's obviously the plan. You know, we want to discover these players before they become the 60, 70, 80 million pound player. So I get that, I understand that. And that's going to be, you know, we just have to give that time and wait and see what happens with that. But I haven't got a problem with the idea of spending what is, all right, is a lot of money, but in football terms, not a lot of money on bringing players like Fofana, Santos, etc. These guys in and trying to develop them into players that are going to be good for the first team, because we're going to save ourselves a lot of money in the transfer market. And how many times have we said, oh, why have we not discovered someone like a Moise Caicedo? Why did we not discover Enzo Fernandez when he was at River Plate? Why do we not do X, Y, Z? That is, this recruitment drive for the youth side of things is precisely to try and deal with that issue, that we need to find these players and make them good rather than letting other clubs find them and then having to pay a lot of money to get them in. So it's kind of cut that middleman out. So I understand that side of it, and that makes sense to me. And some will work and some won't work. But ultimately, I look at it as win-win, because if it works, we get good players for Chelsea, and we haven't paid very much for them. If it doesn't work, then we will sell them on for a profit. Unless they're an absolute disaster, you would like to think that we probably at least make a profit off them. So I look at that side of things. And I think, do you know what? I actually don't mind that. I like it, and it needs time to see whether that's going to work or not. In terms of the recruitment for the first team, this is where I'm a little bit more.
Before you move on to the other thing, can I just ask him to know, because I see that point, and that's why I know I just mentioned him now, but when I spoke about it yesterday on Twitter, I have no problems with signing Andre Santos, because Andre Santos, to me, I see the potential for him being one of those people. You know, he's 18, just turned 18 as well, from the Brazilian second division. I'm like, okay, yeah, he might be a super talent that no one's found yet. Great. But is Fofana at 20? At 20 is not 17. It's not 18. No, at 20, again, Jude Bellingham is 90.
Players develop at different...
20 really going to be that? That's the part that I doubt.
Yeah, well, we don't know. But ultimately, like, we're only going to find out in one way. And, like, you know, not every player is like a top talent at a young age. You know, Drogba didn't go. I mean, this is just one example. Think how many millions of footballers there are. It's just one example. But like, I understand that like sometimes people will think, oh, if you're not like well known at say 16, 17, 18, then like, are you going to be any good? Players do develop at different rates. Look, Fofana, no one knows anything about him really. He scored a few goals in Norway. The level between Norway and the Prem is totally different. Only time will tell if he's going to be any good or not, but he certainly deserves.
The Norwegian league barely scrapes League One,
but he deserves a chance to show whether he can or can't be that player for us. In terms of the recruitment for the first team, though, as I said, this is a little bit where I'm not sure. I don't understand what the plan is right now, and I understand, you know, it's new owners, it's a new setup and whatnot, and there's going to be teething issues. They're going to be learning on the job. These are new guys to all these roles, new to how Chelsea work, trying to implement a new way of doing things. And that takes time. And time is one thing we don't really have too much of right now in this window and in terms of needing to improve results. So I understand that, you know, they're looking to bring new players in, but I don't really see I don't see a clear plan for first team recruitment right now. I see the plan for bringing players through for the future. That's quite obvious. And we've had evidence of that so far. But I look at the plan for the first team and I just think, I don't really get it. You know, we try for Enzo.
Charlie, what players are you unhappy with us targeting?
No,
what don't you get?
No, what I mean is in terms of like, I understand that like, I fully will say that I don't want us to just sign players for the sake of signing them if they're not long-term targets, just for the sake of bringing players in. But I look at it and I just think like, I'm not like Madueke, for example. I'm not in a position to say how good or not good he is or isn't, but I just look at it. I just think, well, what's the idea here? Is he to come in and improve things now? Is he part of the drive for the future? Does he fit what we're looking for? I just look at it and I just think with the first team, I just see it. And how many players that we're targeting are actually going to go into the first team now that we need them to, and they're going to have an impact and make them better. I'm not saying that Madueke wouldn't do that, but I'd ideally like to see us link with players that are actually going to make a difference and improve this first team straight away. And
you want more like proven players, is your point?
I guess more proven players. And I understand that, and I've been one to say this, that going for the proven players in the past with Chelsea and going for big names and spending a lot of money has not worked out. It hasn't, and we have to change the transfer strategy. But at the same time, I just feel it seems to be a little bit muddled as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm not necessarily against any of the players that we're being linked with. Some of them don't know too much about, so I can't really comment on them. But I would just like to think that it's so obvious we need a right back, and it's so obvious we need to strengthen in midfield, and yet it doesn't seem that much has been done about it in this window, or at least publicly anyway. Privately, that might be totally different, and maybe it is, but. Yeah, I don't know. It just feels a bit muddled to me. But it's going to take time.
The thing is, though, like I don't like. I'm not even defending them, but like I don't think it is. Like if you're in their position, like we're not privy to the discussions they have every day.
No,
so,
for sure.
We just see we're going for a right winger before a right back, and we're like, oh my fucking god, like it's what are they doing? But it doesn't mean to say that they won't get a right back, or it doesn't mean to say that they won't buy Caicedo. Like, if we don't buy Caicedo or Enzo this window and we buy like some, I don't know, not even like Kone or someone, like we buy someone just who's not been like our target, and then they're like the board are like, oh yeah, they're coming into the first team, then I'll be a bit confused because
but even then, Pies, even if we do sign them at the end of the window, then we still. Like, how many games would we have had in January that we need?
I know.
I know. And how many points would we have dropped until we get them?
I know.
It is twofold though. Like, we can sit here and have like reservations and stuff, but then we also have to understand that transfers aren't something you don't just pick up the phone and go, right, we'll give you 70 million for Caicedo, and then it's done the next day. It doesn't work like that.
But bro, we are still Chelsea, and we know how media cover extremely well and detailed media covered we are. So if we were in at least remotely close negotiation, we would know.
Yeah,
and because we don't know, we can be at least pretty sure that we're not. I think. Because how well are we covered, man? We know everything that happens. Yeah, sometimes we maybe know wrong things, but we still know it's happening.
Yeah, I think we can look at it both ways. We can look at it and accept that, there are going to be teething issues. It's going to take time. These guys are going to need time. They're going to need windows to kind of work out what the new strategy is, get it fully implemented.
But why do they need this? The fact that Bowley needs it is okay, but why does Vivell need that? Why do the guys we got from Southampton and Brighton? Why do they need
Joe
that?
Shields? Joe Shields not even started yet, I don't think.
No, it's true. Which is half of the other problem. Again, why did Todd Bowley step back already then?
But I don't know the answer to that. But I just think that, like, yes, Vivell and the likes of Lawrence Stewart and stuff, they're experienced guys, but they're not experienced at working at Chelsea, and they're working with different people. They're going to be doing transfers on perhaps a bigger level than they would have done before in terms of amounts of money, in terms of dealing with certain clubs as well. And these things all take time. As much as it's annoying and we want instant like gratification in the transfer market, we want players to be signed, we want deals done quickly. There also has to be the acceptance that these things don't just happen overnight. And right now at Chelsea, everyone in major positions is basically learning on the job. And that is probably part of the issue as well right now. Everyone's learning on the job at the same time, which is not ideal. It's okay to have one or two learning on the job, but when the manager's learning on the job, when the whole kind of board and the structure that's been put in place are learning on the job as well, that's tricky, and we have to be patient. There's very little patience in football, but we need to understand.
The problem is, if you make mistakes now while we're learning on the job, as we know from the Drinkwaters, the Bakayokos, the Sapakostas,
we are making mistakes.
Pay for those mistakes after. So we don't know yet if those what we're doing now are mistakes, but if they are, we will pay for them for years. So that's why I'm like, are you sure you should be buying these players already? Shouldn't you? Like, if they told us, okay, we're not ready yet with everything, that's why we're only gonna sign what we desperately need, so like a right back, a forward because of the injuries, and centre mid, and that's all we're gonna do. No, Fofanas, no Andre Santos's. Wait until you're ready, because it doesn't feel like they're ready. And you said something after the question of price in terms of proven. I think there's a big mix, because look at, like, these are stats of Noni Madueke. Just see.
Yeah.
Number one, he hasn't played more than 1,000 minutes in a season yet. And he's, because he's too injury prone. His best season was 2 seasons ago, where he had 7 goals and 6 assists for the first or second best team in the country. So, like, when we're talking about proven, I don't need every player to be from the Premier League from La Liga or the Bundesliga. No, absolutely not. But when we buy players from off leagues, I need them to be the absolute standout superstars in those off leagues. I can't then have them 3 goals and 3 assists last season. Why are we buying someone who's in the second best team in the Netherlands, gets 3 goals and 3 assists? What the fuck do you expect him to get at Chelsea?
I think Leeds and Palace were linked to him. Leeds and Palace were linked with him before, as in like in previous windows. I'm not saying that, like, just because the numbers aren't great in the Eredivisie that he wouldn't go on and be a good player. But yeah, I do get that point as well, that if you're going to places like Holland, if you're going to Belgium or wherever you're going, in leagues of perhaps a lesser quality, you would like to perhaps see them as more of a standout player. Because you look at those stats there, and I mean, I don't follow the Eredivisie very much, but I can guarantee you could probably pull up at least 5 attacking players that will have better stats than Madueke this season in the Eredivisie that probably no one's heard of. And it doesn't mean he's a bad player, but it just goes to show that,
I hadn't heard of him either. So at least if they have better stats than him, that would already be a bit of an improvement.
No, I haven't heard of him either. Which doesn't look. We're not going to know of every. We're not going to know of every player. Of course, we're not. But there's got to be I think there's got to be an acceptance and a realization amongst Chelsea fans that, we need to try and move away from just thinking that if someone's not a big name and they're not proven, they're going to be shit. We know we've spent massive money on big names so often under Roman, and virtually none of them actually been successful. The ones that have been successful are the ones that we didn't spend much money on, like Azpilicueta from Marseille, like your Gary Cahills, like, and so on. Mate, when was the last time that we actually spent big money on a player and they were decent? It's been a long time. So I think we do need to kind of move away and look.
Yeah.
Hey, bro, Joao Felix, wait on us. 100 mil, let's go.
Yeah, mate, Joao Felix. Joao Felix.
Watch him have a great loan as soon as he's punished.
Mate, all we need is a Simeone new contract to Atletico, and then we can get that Joao Felix permanent deal in motion.
Mate, like,
bro, I'd have that shit done after his fucking 60 minutes he had for us.
Mate, he showed
already negotiate.
Mate, he showed
that nutmeg on the halfway line, bro. That had me moving differently. I've not seen that since Hazard, bro.
Mate, he had
his second touch was the nutmeg on the sideline, remember?
Yeah, mate, he had more impact.
The one where he turned, though, and played it to Mount.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
He had more impact in 60 minutes than our attackers have had all season combined, which is just embarrassing.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
It's genuinely true. Even his fucking highlight reel looks better than all of theirs combined, and they've played a season. Like, it's absolutely insane. By the way, I've had the super chat by Araf up on screen for ages. Do apologize, I haven't mentioned it. Kobo is playing super well, apparently. I mean, Brighton are 2-0 up against Liverpool. Liverpool without Van Dijk, surprising what happens when you have injuries to your team. Shocking that. Who would have seen that coming? But they actually have a midfield. They have their standard midfield. Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago. See how that one goes. The question I now have is, are Brighton so good because of what Potter did, or did Acerbi, is that his name, improve them? Because Potter certainly hasn't improved us. Short injuries, but he certainly hasn't improved us. So now I'm even more concerned. And I'm so petrified that we're going to sign Leandro Trossard. I'm so scared that we're going to do that just because it's an opportunity. The guy's nearly 29 or 30 or whatever he is. And he doesn't even have the discipline to behave himself at a club like Brighton. Do you know how too big for his boots he's going to get if he gets a move to Chelsea? He's going to think he's the right bollocks. Do you know what I mean? Like, fuck off. All these lot piss me off. Do you know what I mean? I'm fuming about a lot of them. And Gully Bastard is quite funny. But, well, apparently we are considering cutting our losses and letting him go again in the summer, which, Colwell's just playing over there. We're still not even giving Badiashile a debut. Why not just use Colwell, for the love of God, if we apparently don't have money for Enzo? Luis Garcia says we're basically trying to copy FSG to a T. I'm not sure if that's what we're doing because I don't, in detail, know how FSG do things. But I'm sure there's certain things that we do similar to them. But I don't think everything, because I think we're more trying to do how Red Bull do things than FSG. But, Liverpool have certainly won more things than Leipzig, so maybe we should be doing it more like them. But, or by VAR like Man United, swings and roundabouts. But yeah, rather than having a big go at how lackluster his stats are, like that season that was the 2020-21 season. At that point, he would have been 18. So at 18, having 24 starts, 7 goals, 6 assists, on the basis of that, I would even understand signing him as one of these young talents right now. That would be like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. Only a couple of injuries in that season. But then the season after, number one injury, like literally 4 or 5 muscle injuries that kept him out for weeks each. 824 minutes as one of the best players in the team. So only those 3 minutes because of how many injuries he's had. And only 3 goals and 3 assists. And then this season, he's only played 4 games, man. He's only played 4 games because he's been injured so much. He's played 186 minutes. 108. That's not even 2 games. With injury time, it's not even 2 games with injury. It's mental. This is mental. Why would we ever consider it? Now, he's left-footed. He's a right winger. Good. Fantastic stuff. Another one that can apparently play striker because he's played there a few times as well. But good. I like the idea of getting a left-footed player, especially because Ziyech eventually will probably leave, whether it's now or in the summer. I doubt now anyone's leaving with the injuries we have. But I just don't understand. To me, this is my problem. I mean, Price, maybe you've done a bit more research on him. So other than him being injured,
guys, sorry, what the hell? Fabrizio just said exclusive Chelsea board now in Poland trying to reach verbal agreement with Shakhtar to try and hijack Mudryk. Official bid close to £85 million. What the fuck is going on?
Mate, we are moving mad. What's going on? Arsenal fans, hold that.
We've just bid 85 fucking
bro,
million
mate,
pounds,
these man were
the
twerking. He was twerking for him.
Bro, what the hell?
We are desperate as well, but
is he even that good?
Well, he's
sick, mate. Is he any worse than Mount Havertz?
No. Trust me.
That's really not the conversation, though. We're probably bidding 100 million. He needs to be way better than
mate. We hijack FC, mate. We just need to do what we can. We're desperate.
What the fuck? Like,
at least we're hijacking from Arsenal, not like from Brighton. Do you know what I mean? So I'm already a bit more positive from that perspective. But hey, I mean, you've read it out basically already anyway. Pice,
he doesn't want to join us though. That's going to be the key thing. I think it could be it's like the Rafinha situation. Like even if we agreed a fee with Shakhtar, it's down to the player, and he clearly doesn't. His preference is Arsenal, isn't it?
No. I think we would have got his go ahead. I think. Because, I think they learned that lesson with Rafinha, and plus, I think David Ornstein said a week ago that his priority is just the Premier League. He's been twerking for Arsenal, but his priority is to move to the Premier League. So, I mean, I can only guess we've figured out some sort of installments deal because, I mean, what the hell? I don't understand, bro. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I mean, hey, at least his stats this season look presentable. Do you know what I mean? Let me just bring up some of these stats but first, let me actually read it out properly. Exclusive Chelsea board now in Poland trying to reach verbal agreement with Shakhtar for Mudryk and hijack the deal. Official bid ready, close to 100 million euros. So we haven't quite bid it yet, but it's ready. Arsenal have been leading the race in talks with Shakhtar after third official bid. Mudryk position now crucial. So interesting. Let me quickly bring up some Mudryk stats here because the main thing is Mudryk this season has already played more minutes than Madueke ever in any season. So if flipping something, do you know what I mean? And he's played 12 games, scored 7 goals, 6 assists. And is the Ukrainian league worse than the Dutch league? Probably a bit, but how much worse? It's a debate to be had. I mean, last season they played 11 games because obviously for certain reasons the season didn't quite continue. In the Champions League, 6 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. They didn't have an easy group either. So I certainly back this a little bit more than I back Madueke. But am I sold on spending 100 million on it? 100 million euros, like 90 million pounds? Am I sold on that? No. I'd certainly much rather spend 100 million on Enzo. And because a lot of people in the chat have mentioned it already, and a lot of people I've spoken about it on Twitter. Matt Law did yesterday in his article, but again, how reliable is he nowadays? Because he told us we bid over 100 million for Enzo, and we didn't. Well, according to Fabrizio, we didn't. That we might go in with another bid for Enzo. Yeah, but that's the next thing I don't understand. If we are, what are we waiting for? Because we need him. So why would you wait until later in the window? Surely Benfica will only be less likely, or are we trying to piss them off, trigger the release clause on the 31st of January just so they can't get a replacement? Is that the plan? Like, I don't know now. But it just seems illogical. We need him. They want a replacement. So if we are willing to go back into it, why have we not done that yet? But again, let's stick to Mudryk for a second. Pice, thoughts other than shocked?
I mean, I think he's a sick player, but the price is just you know what? Everything you've just said about what's the plan, I agree with you now. I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Like, this is just I'd love to meet them and see like can you just show me the financials? Can you show me like what the fuck is going on? This makes no sense.
We can't afford 100 mil for Enzo, so we bid 100 mil for Mudryk, even if it's in euros.
My head is spinning, man. My head is spinning. I don't understand. Like, bro, I don't understand.
And mind you, we played a 3-5-2 last time. So if we buy a winger, where is he going to play?
Oh fuck! I mean, does this mean we're just going to get him and not Thuram and Madueke now? Does it mean we're going to get
Thuram up top?
Bro, we're getting all of them.
Like, what the like?
All of them except Enzo, the one we
Felix
actually
next season? Can we afford Felix? Can we afford a midfielder? Like, what's going on?
Bro, we're cooking next season. We got Felix, Mudryk, and someone else front three. And Madueke. Oh yeah, Felix, Mudryk, and Nkunku front three next season, and then we're going to be flying high.
Because people might say, we might just pull out of the Madueke thing now. We apparently already made a bid. Now, a bid that's nowhere near going to be high enough for them to accept it, of £26.5 million, about 30 million euros. And they want more than that. But how much more is it going to be? What was reported, like 35 million pounds might do it, which is still another 10 million more. But like, we made an official bid. It doesn't exactly feel and look like, well, now that we are going after Mudryk, we're going to automatically pull out of Madueke, because why on earth would we have bid yesterday then, or whenever it was? So I don't understand. Clutch. Let me get. Sorry,
we need like just like, I know these it will be installments, but still, you're looking at just off the base of it, you're looking at what Badiashile, Madueke. That's what 65. You've got Mudryk. Like, just my head's spinning. I don't understand how they're doing all this.
Man, I don't understand how they're doing all this either. And I also don't understand Matt Law. he quote tweeted Fabrizio's tweet saying, doesn't really need me to say it, but this is correct. Yeah, mate. Yeah.
Matt Law
great.
had that.
You confirmed Fabrizio was like, wow, what is all
they all know Fabrizio's the GOAT.
Yeah, no, they do. They absolutely do. Well, they're probably easier for them to admit Fabrizio is the GOAT than David Ornstein, who's from the same country. Do you know what I mean?
You guys are right, though. It says Mudryk position now crucial. So if we just gone there and said, oh, look, here's some money, let's hope he joins us.
But surely, like, as you said, Pice, surely we must have, like, what is the point of us going over to Poland to do this?
Maybe we just fancied some pierogies or some shit.
If we haven't,
I reckon Bali was just like, having a little trip. He's probably trying to find Lewandowski or something, bro.
Yeah, but
like,
if we haven't sounded out Mudryk's agent or his team and his reps or whatever to like give this a go ahead and say, look, we're going to go and do this.
Charlie, you know what makes no sense about this? I literally swear we spoke about this the other day. I said in the report that Chelsea, when we met Shakhtar in London when they was at the game,
mate, yeah, they were there.
Fabrizio said Chelsea don't want to pay 100 million euros. What?
Well, mate, a lot changes now, doesn't it? We're shitter than we were then, and then
it was only like 2 games ago. Like,
yeah, but we have got worse.
That's a big difference. That's a big.
Plus,
like,
we've
Chelsea
got obviously
pay it. Oh, exclusive. Chelsea bid the amount. What the fuck?
Mate, I think desperation changes a lot of things as well. Plus all the injuries we've got also. Like, we'll get onto it when we get to the team, but mate, we're down to the bare bones in attack anyway. Like,
is it just me when you just see his face now on screen that he looks a bit like Shaqiri? That's just me.
I think that's just you, mate.
That's just you, bro.
I mean, a lot of people are asking us that means Joao Felix is going to go back now. Well, we don't know. Matt Law reported yesterday that Chelsea are confident that if they so want to, if they choose to go for Felix permanently, we will get him. So whatever that means. Whatever that means. Maybe we're pissed off with him now. He got himself sent off. Now we don't want him. What do I know? Clutch, I wanted to get to you. I assume the money is making you think, what the fuck? But outside of the money, I think it's better than Madueke, but I don't know how good he is. But that's also because obviously I don't know him, do I? Like, I've not seen him play much other than from highlight clips in the Champions League. But now what? What's your reaction?
I don't know the kid. I've never watched the Ukrainian National League. Obviously, I don't watch Shakhtar at all, so I wouldn't know. So I feel like $100 million for kind of the same. Like, yeah, he's young and he's not injury prone, so that's a way better plus than the PSV kid.
Well, he actually has good stats, unlike Madueke, so that helps.
He's like the fastest winger I've ever seen. I can't lie. Not that. Well, I mean, it means something, but
to be fair, you also said that about Raheem Sterling last year.
No, like, trust me, bro. If you watch this guy's clips, like, fucking hell. There's a clip where he literally, like,
quick, to be fair.
Well,
he looks like prime, it's late Spurs, early Real Madrid Bale fast. That's how fast.
Yeah. This is just.
I think for me, I'm just like 100 million. It just seems like we're doing this because Arsenal want him and at the top of the league, and we're just trying to hijack one of them. And like Charlie said, he seems like he wants Arsenal. So if he wants Arsenal, let them have him. Because what's the point of getting a player that doesn't want to be here? I mean, this fan base complains about it.
To be honest, I think he just wants to move. Like
everything we keep hearing is that.
I mean, if he's intelligent, of course he would rather go to Arsenal than to us, because Arsenal are about to win the Premier League, and we are not even going to be in Europe. So, like, you know, of course he would prefer.
Bro, he wants to play.
Will Arsenal pay what's required?
He wants to play Conference League football next season with us, mate. That's why
we won't even do that, because some off team will win the Carabao Cup, so there won't be a Conference League spot in the league. But I mean, I don't know. Jem isn't happy. What are we doing? A lot of people not happy. Will you upload regularly now, mate? Since Christmas, I swear we've done a stream nearly every day, with the exception of like a couple. So go on now. Yeah, I mean, what does Jem said here? Where is our priorities? Giving Arsenal bragging rights when he says Arsenal only. What we doing? I mean, that's also true. If we get, you know, if just Mudryk is like, no, well, I don't really want to, then we look like clowns even more. Like, we don't already look like massive clowns. But the one thing I will say, at least if we go for someone like Mudryk, in terms of, you know, stature of interest of others, shall I say that, the whole squad clear out report, I can see a little bit more. I'm like, okay, if you let someone like Havertz go, like Pulisic go, at least you're not just getting Madueke. Do you know what I mean? Like, are you going to replace them in the first team? Is that the plan? Surely not. But by the way, just to clarify, 100 million euros is 88 million pounds. So, like, you know, obviously he worded it 100 million. I would too, because it looks better.
So the asking price that they've been asking for the whole time, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And how much of this, like, what's the installments looking like? That's what I want to know. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Well, I don't even really know if I want to know that, because the more I know about that, the more it's going to annoy me that we didn't just fucking buy Enzo.
That's the thing with him, though. I don't like. Well, it seems like they didn't want to do installments, whereas Shakhtar have always.
But are we sure about that, though? Because, of course, they didn't want to do installments of an 85 million euro bid. But we didn't try 130 million euro bid and offer that in installments. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, if you offer them less than a release clause, they're not going to say, yeah, sure, we will take that and an installment. But if you offer them more money than a release clause, maybe they take it. And, I mean, the reports were they might. But then the reports came out that we only bid 85 million. They hated us now. So we never found out, did we? Yeah. Unless you know more in that sense than I do, Price.
Well, to be honest, I've like dropped out the old Enzo thing, but I just feel like I know how much they wanted him, so I'm surprised they dropped out. Like if there was something that could truly
maybe just Benfica just chased us out the building after the 85 million.
Yeah, like if there was something that truly could be done, I think it would have been done, but who knows? I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't think we'll ever know the full story of what happened with that. So many different reports.
This is my question. Would we have paid 120 million for Enzo if he was in the Ukrainian league?
But what I would say, just quickly, mate, is that
World Cup, yeah.
it's very different for FFP for amortization and stuff to paying 120 million euros release clause all in one go up front than it is in a staggered deal across a number of years where, all right, say we sign in for 88 million, we're not paying 88 million in one go. That's spread over a number of years. The first payment might only be like 30 million or something. So there is a massive difference between the two financially.
Does he? Sorry, I was just reacting to that thing from Jim. How many career goals? Well, yeah, Mudryk has 12 career goals, 19 career assists.
How old is he? Is he like 20?
I think he's 20. I think he might be 22.
He's 22. He's 22.
22?
But he turned 22 last week, to be fair. So 21 is in a way.
He looks younger than that.
Yeah. So he's a year older than Madueke, basically. No, that's what he is.
All I know is he was very good in the Champions League so far because I've watched him quite a bit. But this price is just it's fucking insanity. It's insanity.
Well, that's our issue, though, right? So when we go for a player like him, we complain about the price. When we go for a player like Enzo, plenty of people, including Clutch here, and plenty of people in the chat as well, complain about the price. And then we go for Madueke, and then I complain. I'm not sure if everybody else complains.
It's just scary, though, isn't it? Though, because I think with Enzo, you know, I know the World Cup's different, but like, I don't know. I think
World Cup still the World Cup. Like the World Cup still has more say than the Ukrainian league.
This is scary because he's in the Ukrainian league, but you know he might have the ability to.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to bring up Hudson-Odoi earlier anyway. I would rather Hudson-Odoi back than sign Madueke.
Exactly, bro. I said this. I got cooked on this for Twitter like 2 days ago. I got like 30 quotes on my head saying Hudson-Odoi's finished. I was like, shut the fuck up. He's literally like,
hey, bro, he might be finished, but it's certainly less finished than Madueke because at least Hudson-Odoi is capable of playing game.
Literally, Hudson-Odoi, left wing, right wing, talented young winger who can dribble and can cross and is fast. How's that different to Madueke? Apart from he's not left-footed. I don't understand that. Like, yeah.
I don't understand so many things. Maybe I should watch. I'm sure you're an expert on people like that. I've done plenty of videos on Mudryk just for his link to Arsenal. And Jem, by the way, I've just sent you the link, so pop in and share your thoughts for 5 minutes if you want to. I don't even know where I'm at the moment. But while Jem joins, shall we quickly get into the discussion of the squad clear out? Because Pies, this is one of the things that made you incredibly positive yesterday. Charlie, does that make you positive in that sense? Like,
yeah.
To me, I need to see the number one, the reality of that and who they choose to clear the squad out. Because, I mean, they're not choosing to clear out Kante. So how seriously can I take this squad clear out? The guy has been injured for 2 years straight. We're interested in a player that's been injured for 3 years straight. And we do a squad clear out. So we're going to clear out all the fit players and keep all the injured. Is that the plan? Like,
mate, it was music to my ears to see that yesterday. But obviously, seeing it and reading it and it actually happening in reality are two separate things. So, like, whilst it's all well and good seeing that and it's exciting and it's great, until it actually happens, I think we have to take it with a little bit of a pinch of salt because you never know what's going to happen at Chelsea. But yeah, it looks like the owners are serious about it. You know, we know that Bowley has faith in managers. We know he likes to give them a lot of time. The guy at the Dodgers has been there 10 years or so, I think. So he gives them time, and he's supposedly, according to Matt Law's article, he's prepared to kind of put an end to this quote unquote player power situation, which has been running riot at Chelsea for far too long now. It's this same group of players that have been average for years and years that down tools, get managers sacked left, right, and centre, and just expect to carry on. You know, I think there's a lot of bad attitudes in there. I think there's a lot of poor personalities in there, poor characters, and all that stuff's got to be cleared out. So that means terminating contracts. So that means, you know, getting rid of players at a loss. Then we have to do it and we have to move on. So yeah, look, I'm all for it, and it's obvious who the players are that need to be moved on. But until it actually happens, then you know it's hard to kind of pass judgment on it because we don't know if this will happen or not. But it sounds great in theory, and it's needed to happen for a number of years now.
I agree with that. Well, let's put that discussion on hold for a little minute and give Jem the chance to probably rant his heart out about this news here. Why are you so upset by the news? Like again, I'm not comparing it to Hudson. I'm comparing it to Madueke, who's the other player we're linked with. The guy can't even stay fit. Do you know what I mean? So I'd rather Mudryk than Madueke, but I'm not sure if I want Mudryk, especially for this money.
It's not the point. The point is, we're looking at Thuram. We're looking at this guy from PSV. We've already just bought in Joao Felix, and now we're talking about this guy. Like, it goes down to priorities for me again. Like, you turned away the release clause of Enzo Fernandez because you didn't want to spend 120, 30 million euros, and now you're flying today over to Shakhtar to try and sort out a deal for 100 million euros for a guy that wants to go to Arsenal, who said pretty much that from what we've been told, that he wants to go to Arsenal. That's set.
Wait,
had his
Jem.
eyes set on there. So,
Jem, is Shakhtar even in Poland? I thought it was Ukraine.
No, it's
Why
in
are they-
Ukraine.
They're
But
playing-
obviously Ukraine is a
They're
war-torn
playing the
country, and
Ukraine League in Poland
borders
right now.
Ukraine, so it would make sense to me.
All right, I was just going to say, like, why are they in Poland? No, fair enough. Go on.
It's also close to Leipzig, so maybe Vivel just fancied a trip home. Do you know what I mean?
don't get me wrong. This may not be like he could probably still go Arsenal, but the fact that it's an exclusive from Fabrizio Romano, and the fact that we've gone to these lengths again to try and hijack it to a degree, just gives them the bragging rights. Yeah. Number two, like we said, we're being linked to Thuram, we're being linked to other forwards. We've got Joao Felix in. Like, I don't get this deal. And even if he did choose Chelsea for 100 M's or whatever, I'd still be all right. He comes and whatever, but I'd still be slightly annoyed about it, especially when we've got 2 6s. We've got no Zakaria, we've got no Kante, and we're playing with 2 6s in our team going into this next part of the season. Like, surely. And I know there's a lot more time to go, and I know things can happen at a later stage. But surely, like you think the focal point would be on that area at the moment, and it just seems like I don't know. I just feel like for me, the big thing for me is the plan. What is the plan? Where are we going with all of this? That's what is getting me with it all. And that's what's worrying me. What is the plan? What are we doing here? Obviously they know what they're doing, and and then there's the argument of, do we actually need a sporting director in all of this, in what we're doing right now? Because all right, we have Vivel and others, but the way things are going at the moment, would it not be good to have someone like a Michael Edwards here right now on the basis?
I'm sure it would. The problem is he doesn't want to be anywhere. He just wants to take a break at the moment.
Can I ask a serious question?
Of course, go on, Clutch.
So if we're paying £80 million for Mudryk, how much more would it cost to get Rafael Leao?
Exactly, yeah.
In January, it's probably just impossible.
Wasn't he not 140?
Because AC Milan, who are in a little bit of a title fight, obviously Napoli kind of running away with it, but are they really going to let their best player go? They're not in that much money trouble.
Like, I just don't get the plan. What are we doing? What are we trying to do with all of this? Like, I know we heard the news about, we're going to empty out the squad. Great news. I agree with it. Turn the bag upside down and let's go again. Not on all of them, but the ones that are giving us problems as well. But apparently Fabrizio's tweeted again, Laurenz. So go and check it out.
Yeah, I've just got it up on screen. That's already the new tweet.
I'm just trying to watch his YouTube video in the background, so I'll be like 2 minutes, guys.
All good. So here it says exclusive again. Chelsea board arrived today in Poland to open talks with Shakhtar on a €100 million deal for Mudryk. Again, that's 88 million pounds. Sorry. Chelsea want to be fast in club-to-club negotiation. Arsenal always had player preference, but no green light after €95 million bid. So we've bid €5 million more, £3 million or something more. If Arsenal want the guy, then €5 million isn't going to be the problem.
No, but does this not remind you of the Rafinha deal? Because remember when we overpaid Barcelona were doing, but he never wanted to go to Chelsea. I think this is going to be the same case. We're going to probably pay over the odds, but more.
Well, apparently we actually meet in their valuation with £88 million in this case. But I get what you're saying.
What are we doing? Like, he doesn't want to go. He wants to go. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? Honestly, like,
I don't see it as a case of he wants to go to Arsenal because he loves Arsenal specifically. But I would, like any player would right now, rather go to Arsenal than to Chelsea. You'd be an absolute idiot not to, because I mean they are winning the league. We are, again, like I said it 5 minutes ago. We're not even going to be in Europe. Obviously, you would pick Arsenal if you were given the choice.
I'm just lost
because
for words.
Until now, I was like, maybe we're just being used to like push up the price and get Arsenal to pay up. But now it's a Fabrizio Romano exclusive. Surely that can't be the case anymore. So now it's a bit mental.
I just lost for words. I'll be honest with you, I never expected this. I really did not expect this.
But I still prefer it to Madueke. I can't lie.
What, for 100 M's?
Yeah, I don't care, mate. Even for $1 billion, I would find it more useful than someone that's never fit in our situation.
Mate, we'll probably sign Wilfried Zaha after tomorrow's game as well, and that'll be another exclusive.
What is the plan?
I'm just said here, maybe that's part of it. I think Arsenal's bid is 70 plus 25 in add-ons. That may be the case. Maybe they want less add-ons. Maybe so. Maybe then it's less than just the €5 million difference. I mean,
What is so good about this player?
What can you say? Yeah, we also wanted Gordon. Remember that? Anthony fucking Gordon. Thank God we didn't go for that.
Can someone explain to me what is so good about this guy? Because I haven't watched enough of him. Has anyone watched him? Because
I mean,
if you look at the
very,
thing,
very good dribbler. Very good dribbler.
Mate, he banged in some goals against Celtic.
Yeah, no, he's.
You want to know what's funny about that?
yes.
You want to know what's funny about?
I can quickly get it up on screen. I know he has less career goals than Hudson-Odoi. That is obviously a whole different debate now. But just this season, he's actually done well. 12 games, 7 goals, 6 assists in the Champions League, 6 games, 3 goals, 2 assists. Like, that is very good. And just this season in the league, well, with Champions League, he's played more minutes this season than Madueke has in any season ever. And we're only in January. And there was a World Cup in between. And he's from a war-torn country. So, like, you know, again, that's why I still think it's more useful than Madueke. But, I mean, who said it in the chat? He's just going to be like one of these other hype players like Bojan Krikic and who else?
El Shawari.
A few others. But, I mean, he could also
just
be
say, like,
he was hyped like that and then
Laurenz,
turned out good.
can we just say, for all the doubters, would Arsenal really be going for him this hard if he wasn't the special talent?
Yeah.
Like, how many times have they missed really under Arteta? Like, hardly any. So
yeah, but also equally the argument here is that he goes to Arsenal where they have got a system now, and it's took him a bit of time to find it, and he just slips in.
And they also don't have to throw him in immediately for necessity.
Exactly. but then he comes to Chelsea, and we're at the bottom, and we're still in the position of trying to sort ourselves out. So what is the plan here with people like this boy?
Fabrizio said we're at their training camp right now trying to get an agreement with Mudryk. What the fuck?
I wonder if I wouldn't even be shocked, mate, if we just turn up.
It's like some sort of situation.
Bro, we just turned up uninvited in our fucking American limo or whatever, and just pulled up. Hello.
Mate, it's just
did he say that on the video, or did he tweet it as well?
On the video.
Okay.
Apparently we're there right now and it's crucial hours or something.
Bro, it's like a fucking hostage situation. We just rocked up and we're just not going to leave until they agree to the deal.
Agree now.
Hello.
Fly to fucking Lisbon instead. Stop the Poland stuff. Stop eating pierogies. Go to Lisbon. Do you know what I mean? Have some fish.
We've walked in there saying, look, we'll give you 100 million euros. And they just looked at him and just gone, get out.
Yeah, well, yeah. We're probably saying we're going to pay 100 million euros and then we bid to 30. You know, that'd be us.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And I mean, Luis Garcia says, we shelved Leao and Enzo for this guy. And both Leao and Enzo have a release clause. I'm not actually exactly sure where Leao's release clause is. Is it 150 million euros?
150 million euros, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, you can't be too hard.
People use the fact that
the Enzo one is close enough. Like, we're only I know, like, again, this is going to be in installments if it ever does happen. And if we met the release clause for Enzo, it wouldn't have been in installments. That's the whole issue. But again, we only bid 85 million. We don't know if they would have accepted 127 million euros, but then in installments because of the few million extra.
3 days ago, right? This is from Matt Law. 3 days ago. Chelsea's interest in Mikhailo Mudryk was just exploratory, nothing else. They've never had any intention of bidding the 88 million asking price. There's a little bit of surprise around the Chelsea ownership that so much has been made of their interest.
Pice, mate, Shakhtar have just tweeted an eyes emoji.
They've been doing that, to be fair. Isn't it?
I think their admin is just right on it, and he knows exactly. All right,
isn't it the English
Shakhtar? Let's make happen.
Isn't it the English?
By the way, Liverpool.
Yeah, it was the English Shakhtar.
Yeah, they did that earlier as well. Like,
did they?
I think for Arsenal's last bid, they tweeted like eyes emoji or something as well.
What we need right now is an Ornstein dagger just to end this, man. I can't.
Bro, I need Ornstein line.
Ornstein dagger official. Chelsea have signed Enzo Fernandez. That's what I need.
No. I need Ornstein lying and saying Mikhailo Mudryk prefers Chelsea over Arsenal. I need that lie. I need that lie. I'm running with it.
I'm pretty sure.
Just tweet him, please. Offer him like 100 quid or something.
Very convinced with the project. I need that right now.
Have you all things last tweet on Mudryk was 4 hours ago.
What was he saying?
And he was just basically stating that the dialogue continues between Arsenal and Shakhtar over Mudryk. AFC have made it clear how far they will go for the 22-year-old winger, so up to Shakhtar. If agreement reached, talks complex, but Arsenal hope deal gets done soon.
Okay. Well, I mean, 4 hours ago, we probably weren't in Poland yet. Yeah, so, but I'm not sure if you actually saw that, Jem, but Matt Law was like, not that he needs it, but this is correct that we are in Poland and stuff.
Wouldn't this be funny if it was like Todd Bowley as well, considering apparently he stepped back? Imagine he's gone there.
It's Todd Bowley just
he's like, I've stepped back. You signed Madueke. Actually, shit, let me get Mudryk. Do you know what I mean? Oh, my days.
I think he's woke up this morning.
Is there anything else you would like to add?
I just think Todd Bowley's woke up this morning with a bright idea, not even a bright idea, but something in his head and gone, get me the jet. I'm going. I just got over there to try to get a deal done. But listen, I don't know. We're laughing now, but if we actually get this done, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, how would you feel about it if it's confirmed?
I genuinely, like you just said, I don't know how I feel about it. I'd need to literally watch him for 3 months here to even know what I feel about it.
I don't know.
And with our luck, he'd get sent off the first game.
I might actually put a bet on that. Chelsea's 2 days.
Let's not do that.
Now he's Ukrainian, the ref might not send him straight off, So,
that's
might get that benefit of that. You know how Ukraine won Eurovision? That way.
Well, I'm going to let you go anyway, guys. Big up. Thanks,
Jem. Appreciate you for popping in quickly.
All
right, shall we get back to the conversation we were just in and on before Fabrizio and Jem ruined everything? Charlie, because I wanted to ask you one last thing on the basis of the squad clear out. You said it's very clear who those names should be. But if I asked you to name me who those names should be, who would you name?
Pulisic, Havertz, Ziyech, Aspilicueta needs to go. I'm not saying he's a problem, but he needs to go.
Oh, he's a problem.
Well, yeah, a different problem, not a disruptive. Doesn't want to be here kind of problem.
You guys actually think Havertz is disruptive? I think Havertz is a lot of things, but not disruptive.
Well, I'm not saying he's disruptive, but at the end of the day, he's shit and he's not good enough to be here. So
still better than Aspie, though.
Yeah, Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech, Aspie. If the club want to move on Koulibaly and they think it's the right thing to do, then I don't know. I think it might be a little bit harsh, but I would support the decision because he's not been performing. I know he's not been here very long, but if Badiashile here now with obviously Fofana to come fit, Chilwell doing very well, Chalobah a decent defender. Maybe Koulibaly wasn't a mistake. I'm not saying that I'd want him out, but I'm just saying the fact that we're even thinking about it and it's even been written down goes to show that might have been a mistake. I mean, Mount's not been performing well, but the club aren't going to sell him. The club aren't going to sell Mason Mount. At the moment, he should be a squad player until he puts the form in to warrant him being an automatic starter.
Would you add the likes of Gallagher, Loftus-Cheek, these guys?
Loftus-Cheek, again, this all depends on who comes in the summer for me. So if a couple of midfielders come in the summer, we know Jorginho's going. We know that, for me, mate, Gallagher, I like him, not good enough. Ultimately, in my opinion, and he's someone that we could probably get 30 or 40 million quid for, and we're going to need to bring money back in. So it's probably one of Chelsea's most kind of valuable assets in that sense, in terms of how much money we could potentially get from him. I think it's time for Gallagher to go. I think if Ruben's happy to be a squad option and play every now and then, I haven't got an issue with him staying. But ultimately, he's not really good enough to start for Chelsea week in, week out.
What about the keepers? Chalobah.
I'd keep Chalobah just because with the turnover of centre-backs has just been ridiculous in the last few years. I would keep Chalobah as a rotation option. I think Fofana and Badiashile probably be the first choice partnership next season, or whoever comes in, if we get more in. Keepers is an interesting one. Ultimately, I don't think Kepa or Mendy, either of them are good enough to be a Premier League winning goalkeeper for us. But at the same time, it's really hard to get a goalkeeper that's of high quality, that's available. There's not many of them. The obvious one, you look at Oblak, But are we really going to sign Oblak in the summer and give
Also,
Atletico?
he's awful with the ball at his feet, so that's about the last thing we should be doing.
But do you know what I mean? There's not that. If people say I replace the keeper, and I've said it myself, but
We'd replace him with Sanchez 100%.
But is Sanchez? But is Sanchez even any better than? But is Sanchez any better than Kepa or Mendy?
No,
really?
he isn't.
He's been so dodged this season. I was speaking to some
But this is my thing. So, like, whilst I do admit that the goalkeeping situation needs to be looked at, and if we're going to challenge and be serious for trophies in terms of Champions League, in terms of Premier League, then
just get Marcin Bulka back.
then of course we need to. The goalkeeping position is an area that we can improve on, but it's nowhere near the top of the list of priorities at all.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Gibbs says he'd rather Felix than Mudryk. Well, Felix is already here, mate. I personally don't think Mudryk will affect Felix, but maybe he will, because then we'd have Felix, Nkunku, and Mudryk. But then again, if Havertz, Pulisic, Ziyech all leave, well, then you need a lot of new forwards. So, then it's not exactly an issue. Jazu, sorry for butchering your name, says maybe we got lucky with Slonina. I don't know. But number one, he looks about 12, so it's not exactly intimidating.
Played his
and
first
game.
game.
How soon is he going to play? Also, he wasn't particularly great in the MLS at the very end. He pulls off some blinder saves, but, Kepa does that too. Clutcher, I'll go to you. If I asked you who should be going in a squad clear out, who are the names that you'd mention?
Ziyech, Pulisic, probably. Not that I don't like Pulisic. I think he's a good player. I just don't think we're going to give him the time to work here, so it doesn't really matter for him. Aspie, obviously. Jorginho, Kante being number one to go. Not that he's not a great player. He's just, if you get him for 5 games a season, you're pretty lucky at that point. Aubameyang.
Sounds like Madueke.
Exactly. And then it just depends on where you go from there, right? I mean, I'm willing to give Sterling another season, even though he's incredibly pissed me off. If he keeps continuing the way he is, then probably not. Kai. I think Kai's a good player, but I don't think he'll ever work here either. Part of me wants to say Mount, but there's no way Mount will ever actually get sold, so it doesn't really matter. As long as we keep shoehorning him in this team, we're going to have a problem. But I don't know. It's just maybe either Chilwell or Cucurella. I don't know who you get, but those are mine.
Pice, what would be your names for squad clear out?
I can't say because I'm doing an article right now on it. So I don't want to say. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay.
Damn you and your ability to, what do they call that? Segue? Not segue, but preview.
Well, I think I've already. You could probably guess mine, to be fair, but I don't know.
Yeah, obviously we could guess the main ones, but I'm intrigued about some other ones, because if we're doing proper squad clear out, now I don't think we are in a position where we should be doing a squad clear out right now in to certain levels, because how many players are we going to sign? If we're going to do a squad clear out, you know how many players we need? It's crazy.
Can say.
But if I did a serious squad play out, then I'll go through who I'd get rid of, and we basically wouldn't have a team anymore. But I'll be harsh now. Okay.
Would it be easier just to say the ones you keep?
No, because I want to highlight the ones I want to let go. Havertz. Now, Pulisic to me is actually less of a decisive one. It just depends on him. Is he willing to be on the bench rather often? He's been so far, he hasn't left yet. So if he's willing to do that, I would actually keep Pulisic around. But, anyway. Havertz. Ziyech. Potentially Mount, but I'll not mention him just yet. I will Sterling, get Raikon. Aubameyang, get Raikon. Needs to get Raikon. Who else do we have? Broja, he can stay. Okay. Who else? Have I missed any forward? Gallagher needs to go. Kante needs to go. Jorginho, backup or needs to go. Cucurella, frankly, needs to go. If we have a left back that can't attack, unless we find another Reece James that's as good as Reece James to back up Reece James, I'm not seeing how that's going to work. So buy a different left back. Get rid. Chilwell, how long do we give him until he's fully fit? Don't know. But we need a serious left back. So get rid of him as well. Chalobah, Get rid of him as well. Like how much? Like if we're going to sign all these, like how many? What's the point in having 15 young centre backs? Pointless. So get rid. Keep Chalobah. Keep Fofana. Keep Chilwell. Keep Badiashile because now we apparently had to sign him. I would also get rid of Badiashile, but we just signed him, so it's not going to happen. I get rid of Kepa. I get rid of Mendy. I get rid of the fucking lot of them. If we're doing squad clear out, that's how many need to go, and that's why I don't agree with a squad clear out. Because we would need so many players to leave that it's just never going to happen. And then if you have a squad clear out, a little mini one, which we are going to have and nothing more, then we're going to just keep some shit ones, but let some other shit ones go. And then what's the point? Then I'd rather do it sporadically and one at a time or a couple at a time and specific positions rather than a squad clear out for player power. Is Havertz going to be a problem for player power? Like, listen to yourself, Matt Law. Listen to yourself. Fuck me, man. It pisses me off, honestly. Like everyone, I understand where the happiness came from with like squad clear out. But again, like I just mentioned, if you actually got rid of everyone that isn't good enough, we would have 5 players left. So you're never going to get squad clear out. So you're basically just getting rid of Pulisic, Havertz, and Ziyech. Okay, great. So then we need a whole new attack. Every good attacker will cost 100 million, and then everyone will again complain that our attackers are too expensive. So what do you want? Where's your solution from? That's what I want to know. Pies, I would ask you, but I'm not sure how much you want to say. But
no, my main one, you guys have already kind of said it. I thought it was a bit controversial, but I did put Chilwell in there, but I kind of left it on the fence. I think mainly for me, it's a combination of like his injuries. I don't think he was very good before he got injured either, and I think in terms of Maatsen coming through as well, I've been
before which injury? This season's injury, though.
Yeah, like when he was playing.
Like we knew that after coming back from the ACL injury, he wouldn't be good this year.
Yeah, I know that. Well, that's again part of the reason why I'm considering it. I'm kind of on the fence though. Like in the article, I kind of said like, can't remember exactly what I wrote, but yeah, he was one that I put in there for consideration. It's weird. I just feel like Chelsea, like I don't know. I just feel like everyone like absolutely loves him. That's like the general consensus I get from Chelsea fan base. I like him, but I don't think he's like unsellable or something. Especially with Maatsen coming through. So yeah, maybe Finn. And your mic's on mute, by the way, bro.
Sorry, thank you. In a way, I agree with you. On the other hand, peak Chilwell has been better than anything I've seen of Cucurella, at least so far.
Exactly. That's where you're right, and that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know. Like, are we ever going to get that back though? Is he ever going to be like that guy again? That's why I'm kind of unsure. But
that's why I'm like, well, if you're going to get rid of one, then you need to get rid of both. And that's again where I'm trying to come from. Like, Jem comes here and complains about how much money we're spending on Mudryk, and Clutch as well, like, complain how much money we're spending on Mudryk. What do you think is going to happen if we let go of Pulisic, Havertz, and Ziyech? Like, do you think we're just going to sign a few Maduakes and just replace them with those players? Like, then we are quite literally West Ham. Like, what are we doing then? Like, do we, like, Pice, a few weeks ago, you were like, we have this expectation and these standards. And while I didn't fully agree with you on everything, and I've spoken to you many times about a tight amount of fans and everything, like if we let all of these guys go and the types of replacements we get is Madueke and Thuram and Beto from Udinese, then we're West Ham. Like what is that?
But your reply was so funny.
What did I say?
I don't know, you just like, as soon as I put the tweet out, you was like, Bete from Udinese, for fuck's sake. I was like, oh my God.
I was like, yeah, we squad here. I was like, yeah, replacing them with Fofana, Beto, and I can't even remember the Madueke, of course.
He was on a mad one yesterday. Anyway, by the way, just I don't know why. Fabrizio said Arsenal's bid, latest bid, 95 million euros, 70 million euros. What's that, like 60 million pounds plus 25 million euro add-ons?
Yeah,
apparently. So that's their bid. There's a lot of add-ons, and yeah.
So, we don't know how much of our 100 mil is add-ons, I guess. But
yeah.
Hey, is there any other bit of news that we should need to discuss, Pice, before we finally move on and talk about tomorrow for a minute?
I don't think so, bro. There was a lot in the Athletic article, but we don't really.
There was the one thing I wanted to mention from that quickly. Now that you remind me, I'm not going to get it up because I'm not going to find that part of the article that quickly, I think. My main issue with it has been, I'm not sure if you agree with this, you actually touched on this potentially becoming an issue previously, Pies, to be fair to you. I think I remember that. Is that there's no hierarchy given within all of those new appointments that we've made for the recruitment staff. So it's supposedly going to be a collective decision when we decide on players. But no one's given, if there's no hierarchy, then if people disagree, who's going to make the final call? Obviously, you could have a vote. If you have decided between 5 or 6 people, then it's not going to be an issue because then you have a vote and 6 people could be an issue. But if you have an uneven number of 5 or 7 or whatever people, then maybe it's okay. But what if there's 3 options, in terms of people to go for? And then apparently, because they don't know who the very top is, they still go to Bowley. So even though Bowley and Igbali are trying to pull themselves back a little bit now and apparently not always be present in London and still sort out their other business ventures, which they obviously need to go after as well, they will still constantly be contacted because we don't have a hierarchy. And that's why my arena sport director, who needs to be made the main guy, and he then is the top of the hierarchy and he needs to be then the guy in discussion. But that is a serious concern to me, the fact that they haven't considered that issue. Do you know what I mean by Pies? Was that also an issue that you took out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I said it a few weeks ago. I was like, Ben Jacobs, to be fair, was the first person who actually mentioned to me that the owners were thinking of doing this sort of collaborative, everyone gets a say type approach, especially with transfers. I was like, I'm a bit wary that could cause some issues. But again, I think it's just, I hope they've employed the right characters. Like, I hope someone doesn't kick off because their idea doesn't get, vetoed or doesn't get voted. I don't know if veto is right. I think that's the wrong word. But yeah, anyway, I think that could cause some issues. But I hope not. I hope everyone's just kind of on the same page. But I have a feeling it could be quite messy to start with. I don't know. It just depends really on the characters of the people. Like, someone might be like Laurenz Stewart might be happy to put something in there, like a suggestion. It doesn't have to be transfers. I'm sure they'll talk about loads of things. And, the other two could go like, oh, yeah, no. And then the other one could go, okay, I'm kind of on the fence. And then Laurenz Stewart could be like, I hope he'll be like, okay, right, it's fine. We'll go with like what you two said. Like, hope they kind of work like that instead of like, oh, no, this is us. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, yeah, I hope a lot of
I agree. And I certainly believe that it can work, but it's a problem if the players and agents of players, if they don't feel like they have a person to go to that used to be Czech or Marina, and now they're like, okay, anyone who's here regularly, I don't know who should be the person to talk to, so I have to go to Bowley and Igbali, which is that's not an ideal situation. That's my issue in a way. If you're getting where I'm coming from, I'm not sure if Charlie and Clutch got around to reading that article, so I don't want to get into it in too much detail. But has there been anything else that should be mentioned from that article quickly, Pies? I don't think any main things.
I did do a couple of tweets on it.
Yeah, they want to give Potter time, but we knew that, they want to be like, give him a few windows, blah, blah, blah. I understand that situation. Like, again, I at least see a logic behind all of that. They're still not fully given up on top 4, but they are reassessing like potential, like budget and whatever. If we don't have,
there's an admission that some mistakes were made during the summer window. The consortium feel they've learned valuable lessons, particularly when it comes to overpaying for players. Very interesting. 100 million put down right there.
I don't think they learned that lesson.
Which is funny, isn't it?
That's exactly it. By the way, if anyone from Lewis's stream has just turned up, if I missed it in the chat, big up yourself, and cheers, Lewis. Shall we get into the team for tomorrow? Because who are we going to pick? Now, so far on screen, I put a 3-5-2. I doubt it's going to be a 3-5-2 now that we don't have Joao Felix. But boys, and I'll start with you, Charlie. 3 at the back or 4 at the back tomorrow for you?
4 for me, because I don't want to see Aspilicueta play right wing back ever again. So it has to be a 4.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I'm not sure if I prefer him anymore. But yeah, would you say 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, mate?
I guess I'm not really that bothered.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Big up yourself, Lewis. Appreciate you. Clutch, 3 or 4? I mean, I know you're going to say 4, but I have to ask you.
Yeah, 4.
There you go. And Pice, back 3 or back 4?
4-2-3-1 for me.
Okay. it's a weird one for me because people know I'm very much against the back three. I was very much against using it against Fulham because I was like, if you're going to use it against Fulham, why didn't you use it before? But I also like against City and stuff to be more defensively solid. But what I don't like, but I'm also saying, like, as much as we screwed up and got another bad result, were we arguably better than in the recent games? Better than we were against City, better than we were against Forest. Not as good as we were against Bournemouth. So it's a tough one, obviously, and also the change to the back three happened after conversation with, well, for some reason, the senior players, even though we want to get rid of all of the senior players and have a young squad. So why is Potter even talking to the senior players? I don't know. But we had conversation with Thiago Silva, Jorginho, Kovacic, who played like an absolute clown. So I'm like, you were involved in the senior player conversation and you play like that. What are you doing? Jorginho's on the bench. And then which other senior player was involved? And of course, Aspie, brilliant, because we need to ask him questions. And then we went back to the back three. You need to stick with the back four, but if you're going to flip-flop constantly, then I'd rather you stick to the back three. I'd rather stick to the back three than flip-flop between the two every game. Like, that's what we did with Lampard at the end, and that was the worst thing ever. Like, it was awful. Stop that. Either you stick with one. I'm not saying in every game. Every now and again, if you, against City, went for a back three, I would accept that. Against current Arsenal, I would accept that, being a bit more defensively solid. But the majority of games needs to be the same formation. Because otherwise, how are we ever going to improve at anything? Ever. So 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, I don't know yet because I haven't really thought about who's going to be able to play in midfield in each formation. So for now, I just put 4-3-3 on screen. We might get to the other thing later. One position that we thankfully don't even need to discuss, goalkeeper. As much as we arguably should after his recent games, Kepa has to win goal because Mendy's still injured. So let's get to the centre-backs. Pice, are you fine? Are you giving at least Badiashile his debut? And do you think Potter will as well, or do you think it's going to be on the bench again?
I don't actually know what I think Potter's going to do. I almost feel like the last few games he's been trying to play Koulibaly into some kind of form, but he's just kind of been absolutely terrible. Yeah, it's just made it worse. So I can't say what he's going to do because I actually have no idea, but I'm going to go Badiashile and Thiago Silva. I
would agree. Charlie, would that be your back four as well? Or centre back two as well?
Yeah, 100%, mate. Do
you expect Potter to give Badiashile his debut, or do you think it's going to be on the bench again?
No, he'll probably be on the bench, mate.
Yeah, brilliant. Love it.
No, only because...
my level of optimism.
I mean, no, I'd like to have more faith. I fully support Potter, but so far he's not shown that he's prepared to kind of make... Well, apart from the City game at home, make kind of big decisions in team selections, which is something that I think he's fairly been criticised for. Badiashile has to play centre half or Chalobah. Koulibaly should not be starting this game.
I agree. Clutch, do you agree?
Yep. Who else is there?
Well, yeah, Chalobah, I guess. But those
after the game he had, he can go back to the bench for a while.
No, it's true. Don't even disagree. Let's get to left back first because I do want to discuss that because Cucurella was essentially just dropped. Now, of course, it was a wing back, and we know his strengths aren't exactly in the forward side of the pitch in attacking. Now that we have it back at a back four, what do we do? Because Lewis Hall apparently broke a record for this season, but a positive one. Apparently, had the most interceptions any player, or was it interception? I'm pretty sure, or ball recoveries of any player this season with 12 against Fulham of all teams. But I would probably pick Cucurella over him because I think in a back four, Cucurella is better for this than Hall. At wing back, I would pick Hall. What's your opinion on that? Would you pick Hall anyway? Would you go Cucurella? What would you do?
I would pick Cucurella.
For those same reasons, or would you pick him regardless of formation?
Well, I think he's had a couple of games off. So give him that time to try to go back out there and win a spot back.
Guess so.
Especially since it's a back four. I don't really trust Lewis Hall as a left back, but
yeah, okay, I hear that. Charlie, what about you? I mean, Lewis Hall was pretty good against Fulham. Was another situation where unfortunately he should have scored and hit it straight at the keeper, unfortunately. So he's better in the final third, but he's still not quite Alonso in the final third.
Mate, I'd go Correa in this game. I like Hall. I think he's a good player. I'd probably play him in midfield tomorrow. So yeah, I would give Correa the nod on this one, especially considering he didn't start the Fulham game either, and it's a reasonably quick turnaround between games. So I'll go Correa.
First, Pice, Cucurella, Lewis Hall, who would you pick? And for what reasons?
Cucurella, I think I just don't like Hall at left back, to be honest with you. Prefer him more at wing back. I mean, Cucurella's not been great, let's be honest, but I think we should play him. As I said, I think he obviously had a rest, so or he could have even been dropped, to be fair, I don't know, but he didn't play last game, so I think he'll probably start this game.
And the game before, he didn't start either, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's true. He's hardly played.
Yeah, it's weird. There you go. Let's do right back then, Pies. I'll stick with you. I tried to get through this in time for you. Otherwise, I'll just let you finish it off before we all finish it off. Right back then. Aspie, Chalobah.
I did my lineup earlier as well on Twitter, and I went with Chalobah just because I literally physically can't watch Aspie anymore. I know it's literally like choosing who do you think's going to be like a tiny smattering bit better, and I think Chalobah. I can't watch Aspie anymore. I know Chalobah's not a right back; he looks awkward there, but
shout for like Bettinelli at right back.
Like generally, bro, I'm like go with Aspie. I just, for me personally, like people are like, oh, what does Chalobah offer going forward? What the fuck does Aspie offer going forward? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's
if anything, that's what you want. You want Chalobah to offer nothing going forward, so at least we're a bit more solid defensively. Because Aspie teams forward, does nothing there, and then he's out of position.
Exactly. I'm going with Chalobah. I can't with Aspie anymore, bro.
I hear it. Hutch, I know you just said you're not picking Chalobah after the last performance, but are you picking Aspie?
What was that?
You said you're not picking Chalobah after the last performance.
And then I remembered Aspie still exists, so I'm going to pick Chalobah.
Okay.
Literally like me.
Charlie, are you the same?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's two pretty poor choices, but you know, as the boys have said, like even Chalobah is just slightly better. I think he's better defensively than Aspie now. Even if he's not better going forward, at least he can just potentially be solid. Even though he had a shit game against Fulham, he's not really a right back. But then the alternative is Aspie, which is probably worse. So
my favorite thing is Kushal in the chat says Aspie offers problems going forward. Yeah, for us, not the other team though. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, Chalobah was awful last time he played.
Chalobah's been involved, but you know what I noticed against Fulham when we had that? There was one loose ball. Aspie was steaming after like an absolute madman. Like he covered 70 meters in the space of like 6 seconds. What it felt like. I'm like, if only he ran. Number one, if only he ran this fast when he was going backwards, and number two, if only the rest of the team was trying as hard as Aspie did in that situation to get after balls, we'd be winning every game. But the problem is he isn't very good at when the ball is with him, you know. Aspie runs around, okay, you know, he tries his hardest. I've never thought Aspie doesn't try hard enough.
I'd go Chalobah just, but I mean, it's two choices that really aren't great.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Reece James is not fit. He's back on the grass training. He's not fit whatsoever, so absolutely get that out of your head. And Mitch says, rather Rankin than Aspie. Well, but unfortunately, Rankin has been not with the first team anymore and has been, you know, sent back to the 21s out of their season is getting kicked off. So seemingly Mr. Potter doesn't rate him that much, unfortunately. So, you know, that is that issue. I will pick Chalobah as well. I said it before Fulham when I was calling for a back four again. I'd say I give him one more try right back. We see how it goes. If it goes badly again, we'll just need to do Aspie until Reece is back or we sign one. But I want to see him one more time. That's not against City at right back. All right. Shall we do the midfield then? I think this one only has one option. It's Jorginho. Whether it's the 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 doesn't really matter. Jorginho needs to be one of them because we don't have another one. But who's going to be the other one? Are you going to play Lewis Hall in a double pivot with Jorginho? Are you going to play a 4-3-3 and play Lewis Hall as a left CM? What are you going to do? I'm going to go with the other guys before you now, Pice, and then I'll let you do midfielders and forwards in one go. So, Charlie, Jorginho, I assume you will also have to pick because who else is fit?
Well, yeah. I don't know
who else are you going to put there?
Chukwuemeka has to start for me.
But doesn't he have to be on the wing kind of with the injuries?
No. I don't know. I'll maybe put him in midfield. I don't know what. I'm fully aware we haven't got there yet, but Mount or Havertz, whether we like it or not, one of those guys is going to have to start because of what we've got available.
Both of them probably.
Both, if I'm honest.
So that's what I mean. I would say that Mount is probably better than Chukwuemeka on the wing. I don't really know if there's much difference in it or not, but I don't know. I would like to see Chukwuemeka play in midfield, but
Yeah,
maybe
I guess give it a go. Mount hasn't been good there, so try someone else.
no. I mean, I'd be happy to play Chukwuemeka there, and I mean, obviously got no Zakaria now. It would have been Chukwuemeka and Zakaria. I'd probably go with, even though he's been shit recently, probably still going to be Kovacic in it. So I'll go Jorginho, Kovacic, Chukwuemeka.
Okay. Do you have a preference of left or right?
No, not particularly.
And are you sticking with the 4-3-3 rather than a like?
Yeah, I think so.
Jorginho, Kovacic as a pivot, and then Chukwuemeka.
Yeah, I mean, of course, even if it went to a pivot, I mean, Kova could play alongside Jorginho and Chukwuemeka could go in a 10. Like, it wouldn't be outrageous.
Okay, fair. Clutch, who would be your midfield three, whether it's 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3?
It wouldn't be Chukwuemeka in the midfield, even though if I think we had like one player like Joao Felix available, I probably would, but we don't. So it'll have to be, I hate saying this, Mount.
Instead
Hall,
of Chukwuemeka.
Mount, Hall, and Jorginho. That's what I'm going to do.
Mount, Hall, and Jorginho. In a midfield three, though? Or is one of them a 10?
It'll have to be Mount as the 10, wouldn't it?
It doesn't have to be, but...
Out of Hall, Mount, or Hall, Mountain, Jorginho would have to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I don't know. Pice, what would be your midfield three? I know you had it as a 4-2-3-1, so just name it in that.
I went with Jorginho and Kovacic pivot with Chukwuemeka as the 10.
Okay. Do you want to do your front three as well on the basis of that then?
He's going to pick Aubameyang on the wing, and I'm going to jump off a cliff. I'm going to jump off a cliff. Okay, later.
You're not going to like it, but I had Aubameyang on the left, Ziyech on the right.
Jesus.
And I had Fofana or Havertz up front, but I chose Fofana because all I want is Havertz and Mount dropped. I don't want to see them start tomorrow. I think it'd be an absolute joke after their last performances.
Well, call us clowns because Mount is basically Thanos. He's inevitable. He will play. That's just how it is. I'm sorry.
If Potter doesn't see, like, if he can't drop Mount and Havertz, we're in this bad form. When do they ever get dropped?
Well, that's the point. If we had more people available, I'm sure they would.
No,
I'm sure they would. But we don't.
Clutch, I don't care. Clutch, I don't care.
But who else are you going to play?
What I've chosen, I do not care. They can't be any worse than Havertz and Mount. They are absolutely dog shit at the moment. I don't care. Bring them on. You have to bench. You have to put some authority down. They have been absolute dog shit. You cannot physically give them a start after what they both produced in that last game. It would be absurd.
There's like 14 players available, and yes, I agree. You shouldn't reward them with a start, but it's just Mount will start.
I'm not starting them. If they both start, I'll be fuming. I don't care. I'll be absolutely fuming.
I mean, and then you get ready to be fuming because I'm very sure they will both start. Pice, I'll just quickly say my team, then I'll let you go. Not that I need your reaction, but just so it makes it fit how we're going to go about this. Midfield, I will pick Jorginho, Hall, and I agree with Pice. I want Mount to be dropped, but I don't really want Aubameyang on the wing. I'd rather Chukwuemeka there. So, therefore, I'm going to have to put Mount in midfield. What other option do I have? How close is Ruben to being fit, by the way? Do we know that?
Nope. I mean, you know what? The only other thing I would maybe consider is Chukwuemeka out wide and Gallagher in the middle, but I don't think I want that either.
What about Hutchinson? Hutchinson out wide?
He played Hutchinson and Selena started last night in an under-21 game. So
did Rankin and so did Abu. So
Slonina as well.
Yeah. I mean, this team's crap. I just think you have to show some authority. I'll just you know what I mean? Like I
do agree. They do need to be dropped, but it's just like
it's not need, bro. For me, they have to be. Like, how do you?
That's what need means.
No. Need and have is different for me. Like. I'm honestly, if you saw how mad I was with these two guys after last game, oh my god!
I'm pretty sure we were all very mad. I'm pretty sure I gave them both zeros on the stream. But it again, like if you even had Felix
and Kovacic, but sure.
If you have even Sterling and Felix,
I just didn't want like Hall in a pivot or Chukwuemeka, so I just chose Jorginho and Kovacic. I don't know who else you can put there, to be honest.
Yeah, that's why I'm playing 4-3-3 because I feel like left centre mid is probably where Hall will be the best. So
But we're not really played that, innit? So that's why I went with.
Why not? We've played
4-2-3-1.
4-3-3.
Well, I mean, usually it's a 4-2-3-1, isn't it? I mean, you can also go.
Yeah, it's true, but it is a 4-3-3 off the ball, and then we just shape into different things, right? So it's like one of the 8 drops deeper, one pushes higher, and then it.
I guess with my lineup, if you wanted to change Fofana to Havertz, you could have like a 4-2-2 almost with Aubameyang and Havertz, but not really. Like I don't know, man. I'm just scraping at barrels right now. We're in the mud.
Yeah, I mean, I will have to agree with Ziyech. I mean, what else can I pick there anyway? I would play Chukwuemeka on the left in the left area. If he can do it against City, to me, he can do it against anyone. For Fofana, I don't know, man, because I need to know the plan. Now, after I read the report that he might go on loan to PSV if we get Madueke, sorry. If that's the plan, then he shouldn't be used, because if he's that little rated that he might leave on loan to PSV, then he shouldn't be used, frankly. So then I'll put Havertz back in. If we are planning to keep him for the rest of the season as like a Broja replacement, then go for him. Because I agree, Havertz isn't doing enough. As much as I still think he was better than Kovacic and Mount in the last game, and others, including Chalobah, obviously, Aspie, blah blah. But I guess if he's the plan, then I'll pick Fofana. But do you know what I mean? I'm not exactly excited about any of these players, I'll be perfectly honest. Pice, Fabrizio is owning his Arsenal fan on Twitter, is he? Okay, I need to check on that. But Pice, hey, I know you need to head off. Have enjoyed dinner with your grandparents, so appreciate you for hopping on as always, mate. And have a good evening, and then we'll see you soon, mate.
Sorry for picking such an atrocious team, but it has to be done.
Hey, we move. I'll get it straight off the screen. I'll get it straight.
All right. Hopefully we win tomorrow, guys. Let's have some positivity.
Pice, are you going tomorrow?
I think so. If the train's all right, I still not checked them, as I know there's strikes, isn't there? So
is there?
Yeah, I'll check in a bit. But the atmosphere is going to be absolutely dead.
In the UK, of course, there's train strikes.
Yeah. Anyway, the atmosphere is terrible.
But yeah,
see you later, guys.
Hey, appreciate
nice one, mate.
Take care, man. All right, boys. So we've gone through this absolute monstrosity of a team. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still got a couple of things to cover, or to go to do, I guess. Let's get this monstrosity off the screen. Boys, shall we do the quiz, or shall I do the quiz by myself with the chat? Up to you, whether you want to be part of the quiz or not.
Depends how long it's going to take. I've probably got to go in about 50. Yeah. As long as it's not going to take 20 minutes, then we're good. No. That's fine then.
All right, let's get this one on the screen then. I mean, I didn't hear Clutch's response, but it didn't say no, so I'm going to take that as that. The Eagles versus the Chelsea Lions with Graham Potter holding an owl. Okay.
I don't like
Not
this
really
already.
sure.
I don't like this already.
What
I'm
the graphics are.
Is that the Harry Potter? That's not the Harry Potter owl, is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not Hedwig.
I don't know. It might be
Hedwig,
one of them.
no.
But...
I'm going to show you my nerdness.
What I don't understand is, did he want to have an eagle there because Palace? Or did he meant to have an owl? That's the part I'm not sure about.
I think he meant to have the owl for Harry Potter, but that's not even the right owl.
But I've never seen Harry Potter wear Stone Island. You know what I mean? Also, do Palace actually have an exclamation mark there? That is shocking.
I'm assuming so.
That is shocking. Surely just put like their bird there, right? But anyway. First question. Quizmaster Belgium loves animals of all kinds, except spiders. Okay. So this will be the theme of today's quiz.
Oh, no.
Look at the picture.
Oh, no.
I'm intrigued. All right. Normally, finding an animal or piece of one in your crest. Did you mean crust? Maybe. It's a bad thing. But actually, many Premier League clubs feature one in their crest, that is. How many? 5, 7, 10, or 11. Oh, my days. How many? Okay. So
I'm just going to say 7 straight off the bat. Chelsea, Wolves, Leicester. That's 3.
Yeah.
Palace, 4.
Yeah.
Well, there must be at least
I'm pretty
one
sure
more.
Brentford have like a B on it.
Oh, B. Yeah, that's 5. Oh, it must be 7, mate.
Are we sure it's not more? Do Newcastle have maybe one at the top of the thing?
Newcastle.
I can't remember the crest of all these teams.
I do remember them.
I've got another one. I've got another. Yeah, Newcastle got those those kind of horses, haven't they?
Yeah, no, exactly. Okay, so that's 6.
And also,
got a seagull.
Yeah, Aston Villa have got like a lion, haven't they?
I'm going 10.
It's a bit similar to us.
Yeah. So that's currently.
I reckon it's 10 then.
I reckon it might be 10,
Yeah,
It
let's
might
go
also
10.
be 11 for all I know.
Let's
It'll
go
be
10.
mid-10.
I think it's 10.
Does City have one? I think no.
No.
United
No.
obviously have a devil, so that's not an
I reckon we go 10.
Could be the Tasmanian devil.
I reckon
I'm
we go
kidding,
10.
Phil.
Let's go 10. All of 10 Premier League clubs feature animal. Who did we forget?
That's
Spurs, of
Villa.
course, the chicken.
Villa.
Spurs and Liverpool.
And
we
Liverpool,
forgot.
the bad.
Yeah.
How funny is it that we forgot Spurs and Liverpool, though?
Why do they have a seahorse? Is that a seahorse? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Oh, yeah, it
Where?
is a seahorse, not an actual horse.
It's like a seahorse with a horse mix. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, one of those, isn't it? Fair
That's
enough.
weird.
It's gone, Charlie.
Hmm?
Well, you're not going to say something?
Oh, no, I wasn't going. No.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course, get involved with the chat, ladies and gentlemen, please. But I won't always be able to read the chat because, well, I have to the
That's
quiz up. I
cheating.
guess I could get it up on a different thing, but then I'd still be talking about the quiz, won't I? Chelsea's ethos over the last couple of years has been to win, and what was it again? Oh, yeah, win trophies. And as the saying goes, a dog is a man's best friend. So how does this tie in to Chelsea versus Palace? It doesn't. But what is the name of the dog who found the lost World Cup trophy in 1966? Well, Charlie, I think if anyone stands a chance of knowing this, it's going to be you.
I'm going to go with D. I'm going D. I like Palomino a lot.
For some reason, right? I don't know why. I just think it's Pickles. I know that sounds a bit weird, but like it's kind of an English. It's a bit of an English thing in it, really. Like
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be called
Listen.
Pablo or Page.
Listen, if it's Pablo or Page, I'm questioning somebody's choice of dog name.
I'll go Pickles. Pickles is a proper dog name, isn't it?
Maybe not in England, but in general.
No, Pickles is a proper dog name, isn't it? Really, when you think about it. So yeah, I'll go Pickles, but I've got to be honest, I don't actually know.
Mate,
Or
I don't know
Palomino.
either. But I do like your explanation, so I will agree with you on Pickles, but it might well be wrong. If it wasn't for Pickles the dog, Bobby Moore wouldn't have been holding the equivalent to Chelsea's medical staff, i.e. nothing. Brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. Hey, my dog is named, did you meant to spell Pablo and spell it wrong, or did you mean to say Polo?
Polo.
But hey, fair play. A few people guessed Palomino. Pablo, maybe. Good boy, go. All right, then there you go. Yeah, go on, Pickles. Chelsea have made a brand out of calling us the pride of London. And other than our 34 honours, European pedigree, and overall being the biggest in London, what else does pride mean? The biggest and baddest line is the pride of the flock. All right. A marker of great success and stability. This is the most random quiz we've ever had. This is hilarious.
Mate,
Sorry?
It's the bottom one.
Is it a group of lions? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what a pride technically is. So
yeah, a
it's
group
D.
of lions is a pride.
That
Yeah,
is true, actually. I
was just trying to figure out if he was like trying to say something like random, like some
I don't think
LOL.
it's a mark of great success and stability. A way of hunting in the animal kingdom. No, I'm pretty sure you're right. As normally we're proud at the streets of London as a group of lions, I'd say the title is quite fitting. All right, fair play. Next question. Quick and easy one here. What are our mascots called? Frankie, Bluey, Stamford, Friday, Bridget, Fran, and Emma.
How many are there? There's definitely Stamford the Lion. I didn't realise there was any more.
I'm pretty sure there's Stamford and Bridget. That's what I thought.
Well, mate, the only one I've heard of is Stamford the Lion. I haven't heard any others.
I think we have a male and a female lion, and the one's Stamford, the other one's Bridget.
Oh, fair. Well, yeah, we'll go with it
That's
then.
what I thought anyway, but I could be wrong on this.
Well, mate,
maybe she's at King's Meadow rather than at the bridge.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe. But I would assume it's Bridget. Clutch, do you have a guess?
No.
That differs from that?
No. Bridget's my dog's name.
It is Stamford the Lion and Bridget. There you go. All right. Oh, yeah. I remember him. I love these ones. Okay, we get a clue. I'm sure everyone's aware. So if people don't know, we're looking for a Chelsea player that might not be at Chelsea currently, but just has played at Chelsea at some point. We will find out more from the clues. I've scored in 2 or more finals for Chelsea Football Club. Real finals, not community shields and that. Okay. Let's get to clue number 2 because we're not going to get it from this. Now, from this, I would guess Kai Havertz is going to Champions League final and the Club World Cup final, but it could be anybody else, obviously. I played as a forward for Chelsea and was signed for £24 million. Okay, so
that's Drogba.
But Drogba scored in way more than 2 cup finals.
This is 2 or more. It's Drogba. If it's 24 million, it's a forward.
Okay.
Although, is that too obvious?
No, hey, you lock in Drogba. I'll take a look at this.
I'll lock in Drogba.
Who else scored in multiple finals and was a forward that, cost £24 million? Do you remember how much Anelka cost us, for example?
15.
Okay. Well, there you go. My middle name is Eves. And I've cemented my legacy as a Chelsea legend by scoring against the German team.
Yeah,
It's
it's
Drogba.
yeah.
I didn't know his middle name was Eves, but sure.
No.
Is that even how you pronounce that? Especially in French?
Eve, Eve or something. Eve.
Yeah.
Because it's like Yves Saint Laurent, isn't it? It's the same thing.
True. Yeah, fair shout. Yeah, it's got to be Drogba. It's got to be Drogba. I am bigger Eves Drogba. Well, the more we know. I love it. Do we have another one? All right, the Chelsea way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, again, only 2 finals. No, it's 2 or more finals. You Eves. Is it you Eves?
That's Victor Moses.
Yeah, it is Victor Moses. I haven't even looked yet, but yeah, basically from his career path of Wikipedia, you have to figure out who it is, and it's Victor Moses. I assume you agree, Clutch?
Yeah.
Victor Moses, even though that almost looks like Didier Drogba.
Bro, Moses was a low-key baller in that Kante season.
Mate, he was, absolutely. But he was like, I don't know. You know, he was not good enough for a winger. He was not good enough for a fullback, but he was the perfect wingback.
Mate, I'll tell you what, mate, I have him now to play right wing back.
Mate, do you know what I mean? Baited by who? You're trolling. All right. Screw you, cranky pants. First you have a go at me starting late. Now you're trying to troll me. What is wrong with you? All right. Golden goal scorer. The last bit, Charlie, then I'm Clutch, but because you asked how long it's going to be. The golden goal scorer, when we won 3-0 at Everton.
Is that
Pedro scoring that absolute screamer from distance. Gary Cahill scoring the second, which I have no memory of. And then someone scored the third.
Was it Hazard?
Judging by the picture, I think it's got to be Hazard.
It has to be Hazard, surely.
Who else could it be on that picture? It's got to be.
What was Costa? Was Costa Nike?
No.
Wasn't Costa?
Yeah, Adidas boots.
I think it's Havertz. Not Havertz. Sorry, Hazard.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm just gonna say Havertz because he already said it. I love it.
Havertz doesn't have thick calves like that. And neither does Diego Costa. William. All right, there you go. Fair play.
It was William.
We got that one wrong. It could have been him. I forgot about him. I'll be honest.
That's on everybody except us.
H
when we have to play
got it right. To be fair, I mean Matt H says William now, but I have no idea if you actually saw it already now or not. But hey, here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to do something slightly new and slightly different today, which we haven't done before, because I feel like I don't give the chat always enough, feedback and, enough conversation. So what I thought is we let Charlie go now. We let Clutch go, unless Clutch was like, I want to stay. We'll let them go and we'll just have a bit of a chat. See what you guys think about everything happening, because obviously we shared our thoughts on Mudryk and Madueke and all these guys, and I thought, let's get the chat involved a little bit. So, Charlie, appreciate you very, very much for joining us today. His link is down in the description. Please do subscribe to the Blues Brothers, his YouTube channel. Get him to, what's the next big target?
Mate, next one will be 3,000. Next one's free. Well, the next small milestone will be 3K. So yeah, we'll take that first.
Exactly. So subscribe to Charlie, help him get to 3,000 subscribers. Also check out Pice's website, chelseafc365.com, to find out which players he doesn't want to get rid of in the squad clear out. I wonder what he's going to say. And of course, check out all of these guys on Twitter. Their links are all down in the description. Boys, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see how this one goes, and whether we do it again or whether it's the one and only time I'm going to talk to the chat privately. Maybe they're all
cool little Q&A kind of thing. I like it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe they're just going to bully me for the next half an hour. So no. No, exactly. We'll have to see how it goes. All right, boys. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Take care. Chat. Hello. How are we doing? What do you think about this, by the way? Put it in the chat. What you think about this? That we're trying to have a bit of a conversation, because I really want to get all of your opinions on certain things. I'm sadly going in on you, Laurenz, unless Clutch stops me. Well, he's not stopping you. It seems like he's left, but maybe he's still in the chat. But yeah, put it in the chat what you think about this. You want to have this bit of a conversation. Good idea. Great idea by Jonas. Good. Very nice. I like it. Well, I'm glad at least 2 of you seem to agree. No one else said anything yet. But yeah, stick around if you want to. Obviously, if you want to use the super chat function, support the channel, you can. But I'm going to try to get to a lot of comments regardless of that anyways. And of course, if you want to join the channel as a member to get your messages highlighted in the chat, so I always see them quicker, become a member. There's a join button underneath. Finally, Vic says, big ups to you for doing it. Hey, appreciate it. Shout out to Lewis, first of all, because I was tuning into his stream yesterday, and at the beginning, before he brought his guests on, he was kind of having a one-on-one, which I might start doing after games. But then I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and she was like, you could do it at the end of a stream, especially for previews, and do it after. So, quite interesting one. So I like that. Oh, Ornstein tweet. Okay, I will take a look immediately, guys. Give me just half a second. I will get it up on screen so you don't have to look at my big old face for too long. All right, that's a big tweet. Let's talk about it, ladies and gentlemen. And I will get to your question, Kushagra, about Vlahovic. I have seen your messages earlier, but it just never quite fit the conversation, so I never brought it up, but I did see it. But yeah, David Ornstein tweet: Chelsea executive Paul Winstanley and senior CFC board member in Turkey. I thought they were in Poland. So are they in Turkey or are they in Poland then? What the flip? What is going on, man? But yeah, in Turkey, working to sign Mikhailo, is how I'm going to try to pronounce it, Mudryk from Shakhtar Donetsk. Talks around 60 to 70 million euros fixed, 30 to 40 million add-ons. Shakhtar plus 22-year-old open to getting it done. Okay, so that is big though. So what what David Ornstein said here is that Mudryk is open to joining us. That is something. But it's interesting because the fixed fee is actually smaller than Arsenal bids. If you remember, guys, what was tweeted earlier and what Pice was talking about, that Arsenal's bid is 75 million euros plus 70 million euros plus 25 million add-ons, taking it up to the 95 million euros. So now, and we're talking 60 to 70 fixed with 30 to 40 add-ons. Very, very, very interesting. Now someone said Fabrizio Dagger. All right, we'll go back to the other one. Go back. No, this one. Here we go. No, not this one. This one. What are we saying? Update. Exclusive? But he said Poland again. What do you mean? How can it possibly be that Ornstein says they're in Turkey and Fabrizio says they're in flipping Poland? But anyway, exclusive. Chelsea have reached an agreement with Shakhtar Donetsk from Mudryk. 100 million euros fee agreed between parties today after mission in Poland. Chelsea now pushing on player side as Mudryk priority has always been Arsenal. AFC bid remains 95 million euros, add-ons included. So it is a little bit like Rafinha. The question is just we need to figure out whether we can convince Mudryk. Again, I'm not fully sold on this whole thing, but I still prefer him to Madueke. I'll be perfectly honest with you. But guys, put in the chat. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this one? Adar says LMAO. I assume probably mainly for that they're talking about different things. This is mental. What the F? I can't even be bothered anymore from Cranky Pants. No way we got him. Well, we haven't quite got him yet, Matthew Prince. We haven't quite got him yet. Ike says, why time travel and teleportation? Well, Cranky Pants, wish we could figure that one out. Check Ornstein again. Wait, hold up. Check Ornstein again. Okay, I'm checking. You boys have got me here bloody busy. What do you mean? I literally just... Did he reply to it or something? Okay. No, he hasn't. So let me go back to the Fabrizio one. But yeah, okay, let me just read some more of your messages. We're screwed over. Yeah, I mean, I prefer it to Madueke. Player and club getting worked on separately. Okay. Well, do you think? But it's down training camp. Like, why would the Shakhtar executives be in Turkey and the others in Poland? I wouldn't really understand that. But maybe that is the thinking. I don't know. Honestly, Bowley wakes up every day, checks Twitter, which plays training it becomes our target. Yeah, it's what it feels like at some point. Seems no one has a clue regarding Chelsea, even the journos. Mate, it's absolutely true. The next Fabrizio exclusive is going to be the Poland. So he was right all along. That is hilarious. The player clearly wants to join Arsenal. I mean, so did I think. But obviously, we had earlier, David Ornstein said that the player is open to Chelsea as well. So who knows? So this means no midfield coming in. I think we will still get a midfielder in. It's just not going to be of the level we would like. It's just not going to be of the level of midfielder we would like. Add 30 to 40 mil and get more proven player like Leao. I mean, add 50 mil because you need 150 mil, and then you need to pay it in one go, which obviously this wouldn't be, which is always the problem with the release clauses, and AC Milan are not going to let him go like that. You know what I mean? That's the problem. Simple, all our attackers in trouble. If they don't give results, you go out. I mean, from that perspective, the whole squad clear out certainly supported in that sense. 2 groups gone, one in Turkey, one in Poland. Look, Matt Law. Okay, wait. Well, let me check. Oh, Jack, where are you, Matt Law? There you are. See, so far down the list because I don't like you. Some confusion over where Chelsea have flown to. Shakhtar based in Poland. Egbali and Winstanley have flown to Turkey. Meetings this weekend. Rest of details as an article. All right. Oh, you did release an article. Chelsea makes stunning Mudryk hijack bid with club flying to Poland to try and close deal. And yeah, so apparently some of our people are in Poland, some of our people are in Turkey. The absolute madness continues. Could have gotten Caicedo and Trossard for 100 mil. Might as well continue Chelsea, Hove Albion. Nah, see, honestly, I'm so against Trossard in every sense of the word. He's not even young. Like, he's average. He's good for Brighton, good at a Brighton level. Also works for Potter, sure. But he's nearly 30, so he's not going to get any better. If anything, he's going to decline now. So I don't want anything to do with Leandro Trossard. Absolutely none of it. Stay where you are. Caicedo is a different discussion, though. But yeah, Ryan, agree. 100 million euros, mind you, again, if you want to convert it yourself, but I just did it earlier. According to Google, at least, if you convert 100 million euros to pounds, that is 88 million British pounds and a few 100,000. Lineup will be 3-2-5. Well, mate, maybe we'll score some more goals then. Our midfielders are shit anyway, so maybe the less we play, the better it's going to be. Is it going to be Madueke and Mudryk? Would we have to sell an attacker now? What's going on? Well, I would bloody hope that we're not going for Madueke. I think Madueke is an absolutely insane signing. And apparently it's led by Vieira. So I want to get rid of Vieira at the same time as well, because why the fuck? Like, we have 12 injuries or 11 injuries, 1 suspension. Why on earth would we even consider for a single second, ladies and gentlemen? Why would we consider for a single second signing an injury-prone player? Again, I can get it up on screen again, his injury record. It's awful if you guys don't know it. Just 96. This club is too funny, man. Chelsea reached an agreement with Shakhtar for Mudryk. Yeah, exactly. Why not spend all this money on Enzo, mate? I don't know. I would love to do the same thing. Again, obviously, there's somewhat differences. The thing we don't know is, well, we know Benfica would ideally like the release clause paid. When you buy a player with a release clause, you need to pay the whole money all in one go. And that's when we could get into trouble with financial fair play, because financial fair play goes by, just very simplified, spending and revenue, basically. You only are allowed a percentage of your revenue in minuses for overspending, basically. So, but then obviously goes on a yearly basis, like yearly on the books. They check the books every year. So if you split a fee up into installments, say the first installment will be 60 million, then 40 million, then 30 million, and that way we pay 100 million in total. Then you would have 60 million for this year, 40 million for next year, 30 million for next year. And that's how you can get around financial fair play then. If you spend too much in one go, it becomes an issue. But obviously, maybe 127 million euros, 130 million euros, then in installments, maybe they would accept that. We haven't tried. We only tried the 85 million euros. So who knows, man? Comedy Central FC, mate, I don't even know anymore. Again, I'm more happy with Mudryk than I am with Madueke. So it's weird. It's difficult for me to be super mad at it, because I was super mad about the Madueke link. So now I'm a little bit less upset, but I'm still upset. Do you know what I mean? I said this earlier. I need the media to come out and say that Rice/Enzo are Arsenal's priority target, so we hijack it again. Hey, that's what we should be doing. You're not wrong. Wait, give me a second, guys. Straight back with you. There we go. That's what I was saying. I don't know what you were saying, but fair enough. Does anyone take Matt Law seriously anymore? Well, maybe we shouldn't. Chelsea have reached. Yeah, we've gotten through this already. And maybe I can't go through all of your bloody comments because, hey, he's not worth 100 mil. Maybe not. How many attackers do we need? Well, loads, because ours are all injured. So that is obviously a problem. I think Bowley is going to hire Fabrizio and Ornstein to get better inside scoop on every other club, so Bowley can continue to hijack everything. Hey, maybe that's what we should be doing. We don't need him, you think? Okay. I mean, I hear it. There's absolutely an argument to be made for the fact that we don't need it. I just get the big Fabrizio tweet up on screen again, because that's the main one regarding, the Mudryk situation, rather than whether we've flown to Turkey or to Poland. Mudryk ends up being the truth. 100 million is madness. He needs to show Bale levels, mate. He absolutely needs to. Well, not anymore now, because now 100 million is very different to when Bale cost 100 million. But yeah, this guy, 50 mil player, mate, that's maybe true, but we were about to spend 30-odd million for Madueke, who's a 0 million player, because he's always injured. It would be insane that we push Arsenal to pay the entire fee. I mean, I hear that, Ronnie, but should we really, we're 10th, 11th, whatever we are, 10th. Should we really be focusing on stopping Arsenal getting players? I feel like we have our own issues at the moment. Even Anthony cost 85 million and he played in Ajax. Okay, but Chelsea, LVC, you need to remember the conversion, right? So this is 100 million euros. Anthony cost 85 million pounds. Anthony basically cost the same, because 100 million euros converted to Great British pounds is 88 million euros. So basically the same fee as Anthony, unless I'm mistaken and he was also 85 million euros, but I'm pretty sure. Ornstein, all right, I'm back to Ornstein. What's he saying? Chelsea reached an agreement with Shakhtar Donetsk for Mikhailo Mudryk, 70 million euros plus 30 million add-on, 7-year contract agreed, leaving Turkey for London to undergo medical, not signed yet, but done deal. Oh my days, it's a done deal. What the flip? What Pice news? Have I missed something else huge? I'm missing all the flipping things. Yeah, bloody hell! It's all happening. It's all happening. Oh my days! I mean, what do we think, guys? Put your thoughts in the chat. I need to scroll down a little bit. Laughing by Mitch. No, how Ornstein tweet? Yeah, I just checked it. Laughing madness. Another Ornstein dagger. 7 years. Hey, we love a good 7 years here. We love a good 7 years. It's true though. The dominant. This is nuts. It is nuts. Medical incoming done deal. My God, it's absolutely mental. Absolutely over the shop. You know, I can't remember your name. I was you. You were talking about Vlahovic. See, there you're talking about Vlahovic again. I wanted to talk about Vlahovic just for you, but what can I do, man? We will get to it. No, Matt Law has just deleted his tweet clearing the location. What is going on here? What the flip? Because now even Ornstein here has said he's leaving Turkey to London for London. So where are they then? Someone, ladies and gentlemen, please put it in a chat if Fabrizio updates anything. Anyway, I hope he does a Willian on us. On us. I hope he wants to go back. Well, I'm not sure I hope that, because then we'll get clowned again. Because imagine now we don't get him. As much as I think he's too expensive, if we now don't get him, we're just getting clowned. So that's not fun either. I mean, it's not the player we needed. I mean, it isn't. But bro, Felix is already here. Matt Law said yesterday, if we want Felix, we can buy him in the summer, according to, in the opinion of Chelsea. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. I guess by the end of the season, we can also weigh up who's better. At least we'll have a bit of an impact. Well, IPAX, I would actually love to do that. I would love to do that, but I can't because I will get copyrighted and then the stream will get taken down. And well, I would hope you guys don't want that because I will be screwed, which I don't want. Pice tweet, but has he tweeted anything that the guys haven't said? Mudryk is on his way to London to undergo a medical at agreement reach. Okay, we knew that. David Ornstein by One Football, or is that where the artist from? Okay. Breaking Mudryk is open to getting a move done to Chelsea. Talks around blah, blah, blah. David Ornstein again. Okay. Well, I'll go back to the Ornstein tweet just because, you know, so people have that on screen if anyone joins new. Arsenal fans, sit down. See, that is true. New Matt Law tweet. All right, I'm going straight back to it. But boys, you're keeping me so busy. I can't even get to bloody your chat. Easy to start again thanks to fast-moving situation and some confusion. Chelsea have agreed a fee worth £88 million with Shakhtar for Mudryk after Iqbali and Winstanley flew to Turkey, not Poland. Decision now just with the player. It's interesting. Imagine Fabrizio was also wrong about the Poland thing, because especially did it matter where they went? Then none of them had to even mention where it was. So why are you even mentioning it? But anyways, hey, it's happening. It's bloody happening. So what can I say? We need midfielders right now. And I mean, now we do. And the right back. Source is spending more time talking to journos than working on the deals. It is true, mate. It is true. Ronnie says, Bowley is angry. And so it might have said, start clearing out now and get new guys in. Hey, that's okay. Can I just say the way this has been leaked is kind of crazy and making me mad. This must be minute by minute source updates, not to mention the dumb team news leaks. I don't disagree with you on that, mate. I absolutely don't disagree with that. Kushal, Laurenz, does the player even want to play for us? It's mad money here. Well, yes, because according to David Ornstein, apparently there's a new Fabrizio tweet, which I get up in just a second now. The contract is agreed. So the contract is therefore then agreed with the player. So, yeah. So the player seemingly does want to come. But let me see if there's a new Ornstein, a new Fabrizio tweet. Mikhailo Mudryk, and he spends Fabrizio spells Mikhailo different every time he tries it, I swear. And we'll fly to London in the next hours. Understand he will be in the UK tonight in order to discuss the details. Medical ready. I mean, it's a day late. I would love to have seen him tomorrow because our next game is only obviously next week because we don't have a midweek game next week. Chelsea pushing on long-term deal to get personal terms sealed after full agreement on a €100 million fee. So that's interesting because if I go back quickly, Ornstein says 7-year contract agreed, which means that must be agreed with the player because Shakhtar had nothing to do with the contract. But Fabrizio is saying Chelsea pushing on long-term deal to get personal terms sealed. So slightly different opinions here from the two biggest sources in terms of what's agreed and what isn't agreed. But yeah, bring on Pice. Well, Pice was on here. He's unfortunately left to have dinner with his grandparents. That's why I'm here by myself. News, Ben Jacobs. Is it really going to be bigger than the other news we've just seen? I don't know. I mean, HIJACKED says, I won't complain about Mudryk if we also splash and get midfield and right back, since that's the way we seem to be going again. Well, yeah, I guess then I'll complain less. Absolutely. Bowley in career mode. Hey, you know, to be honest, if I was Bowley, I'd probably play career mode as well because the real life shit is just dreadful. So, you know, Let me check Ben Jacobs' tweets then. See what he said. What's he said? Not this one. Can confirm Chelsea have reached a deal with Shakhtar for Mikhailo Mudryk worth 100 million euros. Total guarantee fees 70 million euros with a 7-year contract proposed. First call, Fabrizio Romano. Some important points. Nothing is signed and Arsenal remain in the race in advanced talks. Mudryk wants Arsenal, but we'll talk to Chelsea. But really, guys, are we seriously going to question David Ornstein? David Ornstein is the only guy who I don't remember ever being wrong. Ever. So, as much as I like Ben Jacobs as a dude, even though I've not had him on my channel, but a lot of the guys have had it, obviously. If David Ornstein says something, I will take their words over most of the other guys. 100 million guys, they don't income. Hopefully not cost that bloody much. Do you know what I mean? The earlier Athletic article said the new owners want all players to be on the same wage structure approximately across the squad. Better not be the same as Sterling's for everyone. Yeah, absolutely true. Absolutely true. But what we still don't know for sure is if that whole Sterling contract on 325k a week, if that is including all bonuses, if he hits bonuses and actually he has less. If he doesn't perform, we don't fully actually know that. But only watching Fabrizio's Twitter and making bids. It's true. To make it clear cut, according to journalists, we'll make 3 more signings. So they should be Caicedo, Vlahovic, and Pedro Porro as a cover for James or any other right back. The problem with Pedro Porro is that he apparently, Joao Felix's missus cheated on Joao Felix with Pedro Porro. And I don't think we should be putting those two in the squad together. Just not going to be a good thing for the squad chemistry, in my opinion. Let's quickly talk about Vlahovic. The Mudryk thing is happening. Ladies and gentlemen, do you want to put your opinions on Kushagra, sorry if I butchered your name, mate, really wanting Vlahovic? Is Vlahovic the guy we should go for? Now, if we should go for any Serie A striker, in my opinion, we should be going for Osimhen. I'm not sure that's how I pronounce it, but Osimhen. Not Vlahovic. But both are good, obviously. Both are good. Okay, another Fabrizio tweet. I'll get to it in a second, Ryan. Thank you. But Vlahovic is still good. But the problem is, at the moment, I just don't trust anyone from Serie A, because how can I? I mean, Tomori looks like the best centre-back in the world in Serie A, and he was good for us, but then it tailed off a little bit as well. Let's not lie to ourselves. And look at how Giroud is balling. Giroud was good for us, but he wasn't balling like he is there for us. He absolutely wasn't. Even Tammy, not this season so much, but last season he looked great. And then you look how the Serie A signings to us have gone. Koulibaly looks absolutely dreadful. In the meantime, he leaves Napoli. Napoli on the verge of winning the first. What's a pin here? I don't know what a pin is either, to be honest, mate. So sorry. But yeah, the Napoli on the verge of winning their first Serie A ever, basically. Now that Koulibaly's left, and obviously we know how the Lukaku thing has gone. So I'm not 1,000,000% sure if we should go for any Serie A strikers at the moment, but I hear that everyone has different opinions. Bettinelli at the back, better in attack. Jazz is going to win the championship. For fuck's sake, mate. Terrible how the Enzo deal is dead. Well, apparently, Frank, according to at least, what's his face? I forget again. Matt Law yesterday, there's still a chance we could go back in for it. We already saw that tweet. Someone said Fabrizio Romano tweet. We already saw that tweet. Unless it was a reply, potentially. Did you reply to it? No, didn't reply to it. So I will go back to the Ornstein tweet just because, again, I still see him as the very biggest source. Even to be fair, this news was broken by Fabrizio. Fair play to him. Again, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. And I love the fact, I know obviously we just got big news, so maybe that's why some of you guys are here. But I appreciate that so many of you are still here now. It's just myself, 280 of you, because obviously I rely on a lot of other people always to come on my streams and be guests of the stream. So if I notice that you guys would also be, would also be willing to watch the streams if it's just by myself, either at times or part of streams, that's very kind of you. I appreciate it a lot. And if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. That'd be massively appreciated, honestly. The progress slightly stagnated a bit more than I would be happy with myself personally. So if you could help me get to 20,000 subscribers as quickly as we can, I would massively appreciate it. And smash the like button as well. That's how we grow as content creators. Osimhen won't happen. That is probably true, to be fair. Even Simon Johnson from Straight Outta Cobham said Enzo wasn't dead. That's more reliable because the Athletic was always consistent with it. True. We need Mudryk to talk about how Chelsea was his childhood dream now and that Shevchenko was his hero. Well, to be fair, Shevchenko was probably his hero, regardless of anything else. Smash the likes. Yes, Sube. Sorry for your name. I'm going to call you Raymond because I'm more sure about the pronunciation of that. Big up yourself. Fan interactions will make your channel grow. I do hear that, but imagine if I only talk to fans, right? But maybe I shouldn't always do this many people as I often do, but it depends on the situation that we have, right? Because I can't always... even if I have one guest, I can't get to all of your chat messages. The problem, right? But also, if I read all of your chat messages out, then I basically kill myself with super chats, and super chats make me way more money than ad revenue. So it's a problem. See, Pandit, I'm going to call you because I'm going to just butcher your first name. Should do a watch along. I tried a watch along. Thomas Tuchel's first ever game at Chelsea did a watch along for the 0-0 against Wolves. Now, obviously, in the end, it was a 0-0, so that was dead. But I basically no viewers. Obviously, I've grown a bit since then, but it was just awful. Like, there was no viewers, none. I didn't enjoy it as much, so I'm not sure if it's my thing. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it another go in the future. If enough of you want that, put it in comments, put it in chats, watch along. But then you actually have to turn up. I mean, you can't just tell me do it, and then when I do it, none of you turn up. What is our club doing? Are you that unhappy about it, Jeff Knightley? Interesting. This would never have happened under Tuchel. What? Signing Mudryk? Yeah, we signed fucking Aubameyang. I'll be fucking happy with yourself. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea need to start offloading players. Hopefully the deal means we have players ready to leave. Well, yes. On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, currently basically our entire team is injured, and you're never going to be able to sell injured players. And at the moment, say we let Ziyech go now, we would also be insane to let Ziyech go right now because he's one of the very few that's actually fit. Hafiz, sorry for butchering your name, says we need right back, striker, mid, goalkeeper. Well, we're not going to get a goalkeeper in January. We're not going to get a striker, a real one. I mean, Joao Felix is kind of a striker, even if you disagree with that. But yeah, right back and midfielder we absolutely need. I could not agree with you more. I think Chelsea should just go ahead and sign my entire village. Vescoli is cooking. Mate, I don't know where your village is, but maybe we should. Probably be cheaper than 100 million. I swear, bloody my whole town. I live in a bigger town. Even that would cost less than 100 million. How many non-homegrown players can a team have? As far as I'm aware, mate, 17. As far as I'm aware, mate, 17. But age makes a difference here. Age makes a difference here. I think it only counts for players above under 21s. And as far as I'm aware, both Badia Shield and I'm pretty sure Mudryk, because yes, he's 22, but he only turned 22 on January 5th. So like a week ago. A bit more than a week ago. So I think he will also count as under 21. So I guess for now, we should still be okay because we had 15 before the transfer window started, 15 non-homegrown players. So Fofana will count as that. Andre Santos will count as that, as under 21, obviously. I know Badia Shield does, and I'm pretty sure Ornstein will. Mudryk will as well. But Joao Felix, I think, doesn't. So that's one added. And have we added anybody else? No, I don't think so. So I think currently we should therefore be on 16. We're allowed 17, but we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if still one or two players do leave us eventually. What am I seeing? If player go, I'm on board fully. If players go, okay, just in general, if players go, but they're not necessarily wasting now. No, the wasting of money, which Potter just says yes to everyone. But do you really think Potter is going to be included in those decisions? Like whether we spend 100 million on Mudryk, they won't ask Potter and how much to spend. Absolutely not. Potter is not involved with that whatsoever. But can I just remind you that Tuchel spent 100 million on Lukaku? Just saying. I have been following you from 100% Chelsea days. Good to see you grow. Hey, I appreciate you, mate. I appreciate you very much. I don't like watch-alongs. I only like it if it's a big game like Champions League. Yeah, and I hear it because I personally, just my personal opinion, I wouldn't be that big into a watch-along myself either, if I'm honest. Like, I'll maybe watch the highlights of a watch-along in hindsight when I see people's reactions to goals. That's quite cool. Enjoy that. But when the game's on, I want to watch the game. And I'm not going to have two things on at the same time because then you will have to mute one of them. And then if you're going to mute the watch-along, then it becomes pointless. And do I really want to mute the commentators? Now, commentators do waffle, but you obviously hear some other new sounds from the TV as well. So if you have the possibility to watch, the only thing I could consider is maybe the 3 p.m. kickoffs in England because there's no English games, but people will still watch streams, don't they? So it's a tough one. Shit. You already said that. So Thuram deal is dead. Deal off? I don't know, man. You'd have to assume as much. But I don't know for sure. I will say one thing, by the way. The outlets, a lot of news reports still said, even after we had signed Joao Felix, that we still want a winger. So I guess that they weren't lying. With Mudryk, I guess they weren't lying. We must take Caicedo and sell Raheem, mate. I agree on selling Raheem. I didn't see the Liverpool game today, but apparently Caicedo was brilliant. So that's something. See what CFC Daily quoted from the Ornstein article. It doesn't sound like a done deal per se. Okay, I'll take a look for you. I guess I could open the article, but then we just have to read through it together, and it maybe becomes a little bit boring from all of us, wouldn't it? So, just hesitant for this from now, but he still says this. No idea if this guy's good. We hijacked the deal. They could just buy it back. Ain't losing sleep if we sign or don't sign him. The question is, what happens to the guy at PSV? Does he come too? Hopefully not. We need attackers, but we need midfielders, and James cover so much more. The feeling around the situation is both Shakhtar and Mudryk are open to getting the deal done. But are you sure that isn't from the article he wrote like a little bit earlier? Because if I go back to Ornstein's tweet here, if you see the tweets, initially, so like 15 minutes before he tweeted this, deal agreed, he tweeted this, where it's like Shakhtar and 22-year-old open to getting it done. And then he added this. I think they've just not updated the article yet, I would say. And I think if Ornstein says the deal is done, the deal is done. Are you worried about financial fair play? Not really, in a sense that I don't trust Bowley and the lot on everything. I don't trust them on everything. But I trust them to keep the financials under control. So I would assume that they will only spend what we can spend. I would say that. Adachiana, no worries, obviously. Overpay, yeah, probably. But who do you not overpay nowadays? Do you know what I mean? And if you don't want to overpay, you have to get someone like Noni Madueke, who's not played more than 1,000 minutes in any season ever. We should offload who we can now. We got Fofana on an injury. Fofana wasn't injured. Wesley Fofana. But he was fit when he joined. So he was fit when he joined. Surely Leao couldn't have been much more than that. Well, 150 million euros is his release clause. And I don't think Milan were going to be willing to ever let him go in the summer. In January. In the summer, it's a different situation. Would Leao be better than Mudryk? I would say so. But then again, I haven't seen enough of Mudryk to really make a full judgment of this. So it's a tough one. Can either Felix and Mudryk play Champions League for us? And also, which do we register? I'm pretty sure. Well, just by UEFA rules, both can play because they got rid of the rules a few years ago that you can't play for two Champions League clubs in the same season. So you can from that perspective. I'm not sure if we're limited in terms of registering players. I've read somewhere that we only have one registration spot left in the Champions League, but we might just deregister other players. Do you know what I mean? We might just deregister like Gallagher or someone. Enzo or Caicedo deadline day special incoming. I mean, okay, but why not earlier? Remember, he's going to London, Chelsea, and Arsenal, so it's up to Arsenal, which he could still go there because it's his preference. Don't get overexcited by bantering Arsenal fans. I agree with that because he's flying to London. The medical is done until he signed the paper. Arsenal could increase their offer, and I'm sure if they offer him a similar contract to us, he will pick them. And again, I can only reiterate this. I said this earlier in the stream. I can only reiterate it. You would be stupid to pick Chelsea over Arsenal right now if you had an even option, like say money and everything. Because I understand nowadays, especially, you've got to understand Ukrainians also going a bit for money because, I mean, they've got a whole country to build back up that I'm sure he wants to help with. So the more money he has available, the more he can help with that. Yeah, so nothing is 100% set, agreements until something is. Spurs had an agreement with Willian. He was already in the middle of his medical when we called. You know what I mean? So, I just don't see any proven striker joining Chelsea for another year. I don't think Thuram would be better than Vlahovic. And this is my last comment regarding Vlahovic. But why are you that sure that Juve will just let Vlahovic go? Because they signed him for a lot of money. I don't remember how much, but like around 100 million euros or whatever it is. Will we pay that much? I mean, we're paying it for Mudryk, I guess. But will we pay it again? I don't know. And he does have his limitations. He's very left-footed as far as I'm aware. But he is pretty quick. He's got a free kick and a half in him. He scored some banger free kicks for Juve early in the season. What's the point of spending 50 million on Sterling in the summer or 300 grand a week to now spend 100 million on Mudryk when they play the same position? Sterling will be unhappy to not be a starter. I assume they will both be starters. Just one will play on the left, one will play on the right. But obviously what happens once Nkunku comes in, then I don't know what happens. He's flying to London. Okay, I'm not sure who said that, but fair. The one below. Yeah. Don't know what this is about anymore. I should probably scroll back to more updated ones and miss a few viewers. I do apologize. Dane Murphy, they wanted 120 mil up front. Yeah, exactly. AMZ, that is true. I wonder if AMZ is actually a woman, because I feel like I've seen you in a chat before and you definitely didn't have a female picture there. Arsenal saying he average. Well, maybe he is a little bit average. Arsenal fans were talking about this guy every week. They were. Let me just quickly get another thing on screen because we maybe had different people or less people here earlier, just to get some Mudryk stats up, because some people asked, is he more creative or more of a goal scorer? Well, so far in 12 Ukrainian league games, I still, by the way, He got a red card as well. And it's mental. We've got another Joao Felix on our hands then. What was I trying to say? Still, how is it? How mental is it, by the way, that like there's literally war going on right now? Why are they playing in the league? I don't understand how that's even possible, but sure. 12 games and 7 goals and 6 assists, so that ain't bad. That really ain't bad. Last season, in the Champions League, he has 3 goals and 2 assists. That ain't bad. So like, seems to even itself out a lot in terms of goals and creativity, like assist output. And last season, he had 7 assists and only 2 goals. And obviously, this was kind of his first few seasons, it seems. When is the Premier League before that? Now, see, he was. They changed the logo, did they? Okay, he only played 3 games the season before. So once he started getting games, 11 games, 2 goals, 7 assists. This season, starting every game or playing most games, 7 goals, 6 assists. You can't complain about that too much. The only thing you can maybe question is why didn't he start playing regularly at big teams at a bigger team in his country earlier? That's maybe a debate to be had. But yeah, it seems like he's certainly first and foremost a left winger with 63 games in that position, 9 games at right winger, and 1 game at attacking midfield. So certainly mostly left winger. He is right-footed, mind you. I'm not sure how good his weak foot is either, if I'm being perfectly honest, but here's what it is. Next, Simon Midfield and right back. I agree, Ryan. I agree. Not necessary. Maybe. He's incredibly fast. I saw him versus Ireland for Ukraine. Yeah, no, we did hear that. Arsenal would take anyone, to be honest. Would you? Would they? I mean, they're flipping top of the league, so no Arsene Zakarian. Maybe not. Maybe not. But to be fair, there's also stipulations that stop us from signing him, so maybe we just didn't actually find a way to make that work. Okay, what am I seeing here? Price? What has he said? Arsenal and other Premier League clubs are aggravated with how Chelsea are involved in everything. Well, cry some more tears, get in the bin. I don't really give a shit if they're all crying their fucking eyes out. I didn't even bring it up on screen. Let me bring Pice's tweet up, sorry. There it is. Yeah, according to Miguel Delaney, again, how good of a source is that? Debatable, I suppose. Yeah, they're apparently mad at us, but do I care? No. The league makes a lot of cash revenue for the clubs, players, relevant parties, which they would be funneling back into Ukraine. No, I understand that perspective of it, absolutely. But there's like the foreign players are one thing, but there's Ukrainian players there. Number one, aren't they needed in the army? Like, I'll say it as harshly as it is. Like Mudryk himself, why? Like, anyway, we don't get too deep into that kind of discussion. We're looking for pacey goal-scoring wingers. It's clear from the targets, Madueke, Thuram, Mudryk. I mean, Thuram isn't that pacey anymore, and he's not a winger. He's mainly a striker nowadays, but sure. Actually, I read somewhere January transfers are either a big flop or a banger based on past results, so signing Mudryk feels like a gamble. 100 is too much. I mean, I hear that, but is it one that we need to do? I don't know. Nkunku striker or Felix striker next season next? Maybe. I also don't see how we fit them in otherwise. I mean, your expert, told us yesterday, 2 days ago, whenever it was, that he doesn't quite see, a few days ago, that he doesn't quite see how Nkunku and Joao Felix work in the same team. So it's a tough one. I no longer know what to expect from this club when I wake up every day. Mate, that is true. Absolutely. Clutch, appreciate you still being here. Scenes when he fails and we save Arsenal 100 mil. Well, don't be so pessimistic, bro. Even though I was the pessimistic one in a couple of days. Guess improved midfield and our attackers will succeed. Well, depends on who the proven midfielder is. Leaving Turkey for London to undergo medical, not signed yet, but done deal. Simon Johnson, Ornstein said it's a done deal. It's a high chance it's Chelsea. But when did he say this? Did he update this after he said it's a done deal? Or did he say that before he said it's a done deal? Let me update quick. There's still the latest one. Still his latest tweet is that where he says 7-year contract agreed. So I would still go by that if I'm honest. Kunku's in a striker. No, he isn't. He isn't. Yeah, they are. Unlucky. Not impressed by the stats. Definitely not 80 mils worth. I mean, if more than one goal contribution a game doesn't impress you, then no one impresses you, if I'm being perfectly honest. I'm not saying it's the most impressive thing either, but I'm not sure the stats are the problem. Maybe the league where the stats are from is the problem, but the stats itself, they're not the problem, in my opinion. Anyway. Does Mudryk walk into the team? With the current injuries, absolutely. Once players are fit, we'll have to wait and see. Bro, please delete. That's maximum shame. Yeah, exactly. Bro, please delete. Bowley is going mad. I'm not shocked by Bowley spending. I'm just worried about financial fair play and This all signings are the one Potter wants. All CFC fans in the world are crying for centre mid, right back, and CDM and left wing. Well, he's the left wing, so we did get that apparently. The CDM will come eventually, just in the summer. Can't expect the CDM now, in my opinion. Mudryk right wing back, Shaq said. Yeah, fair enough. Centre mid, right back. Yeah, I agree, mate. I can't disagree. Laurenz, big up for going through all the chat. Respect, bro. I appreciate you, Kushal. I thought I'd just do a little bit of that towards the end of streams now. And then we obviously got this big news. And now this is taking even longer than I expected. Hey, guys, if you still want to, because I still miss some chats, if you want to get involved with a super chat and help me out and support the channel, I obviously appreciate that. I don't have to, but I always appreciate it. If you have anything big to say that you want me to highlight and discuss, talk about, then please mention it. Forget Prime. Our hydration sponsor should be Arsenal's Tears. How many of you have tasted Prime before? Because I haven't. I live in Austria. We don't have Prime over here. Throwing money at wrong areas. We can sign attackers when we sell in the summer. I mean, oh no, Felix is more of a striker than Nkunku. Just size-wise, he's more suited to that. But Felix isn't more of a striker than Havertz is. Do you know what I mean? He's maybe a better player than Havertz, but he's not more of a striker than Havertz is. What has Mudryk accepted us on personal terms? I'm getting Rafinha deja vu. Well, that's a difficult one to say, Athav. I can only go by the most reliable journalist there is, essentially, and that's David Ornstein, and he says this. And here it says 7-year contract agreed. To me, a 7-year contract agreed means personal, because the contract has nothing to do with the club, the contract length. So him saying that to me says agreed, but obviously if Arsenal up their value and Shakhtar accept their offer as well, then, Mudryk might say, actually, I don't agree to the Chelsea offer, and he might change his mind and agree to the other offer. We do have a super chat. Need to wait a second. Appreciate you very much, Callum Simpson. Appreciate you. He says, if Potter wants him, then fine by me. Enzo now. Mate, I agree. But I'll be honest with you, the fact that we just signing someone for 100 million euros, 70 million fixed and 30 million in add-ons, even though we don't know if those 70 millions are split up into installments at all. I feel like that expensive of signing makes it very unlikely that we add an Enzo to it. But hey, we have to keep hoping. We have to keep hoping, I suppose. The club is lost, man. The club is lost. But again, Callum, appreciate the donation so much. What about Kagla Suyunchu? I don't know about him. He had like one good season. Are these players that Potter wants? Well, he supposedly wanted Joao Felix, and he started in first game, so that looks like it. He didn't start by the Ashil yet, so did he want him? I don't know. Does he want Mudryk? We'll see, I suppose. We'll see. Uses both feet like Joao Felix. Okay, does he? Because, well, number one, I would say Joao Felix doesn't. At least on finishing. He didn't like his left foot against Fulham. But he did play one very nice pass his left foot. We must urgently reinforce the right back. I agree with you. Funny Ornstein said, not signed yet, but done deal. Well, no, of course not, because nothing's signed before you have a medical. Does Ornstein mean only the length of contract is agreed, or is that the whole contract terms, personal terms agreed? I guess that could be. That could be the case. I think that is maybe a stipulation that is possible. But I guess we don't know for sure. Still 20-30 million less than Enzo. Yes, and obviously Enzo only on release clause, so all in one go. I generally don't think this will work. 100 million for a player in the Ukrainian league, less than 20 career goals, also in a league which is so much more physical, very risky. I'm not sure how much more risky our league is than the Ukrainian league, I'll be honest. I don't watch the Ukrainian league enough to really know that. But again, I can still back it 1 trillion times more than I back us signing Noni Madueke, because he's never even fit. What would be your ideal front line now? Assuming everyone's fit, you're saying? Mudryk on the left now, I assume, but I'll have to see him, obviously, but I need to see him and I'll give him a chance. So I'll say him left wing. I'll say Havertz up top still. I still pick him over Aubameyang and Fofana. I'll say Felix is a 10 behind, and then him and Havertz could theoretically also interchange. And then on the right, one of Pulisic and Sterling. Whoever's in better form. Right now I would pick Pulisic, but I know Pulisic is better on the left. So maybe then Sterling on the right. But who knows? Who knows? Tough one, mate. Could we splash for Bellingham? I mean, he would be even more expensive than Enzo, I think, so I doubt it. Felix can play number 10. I will be glad when we get Mudryk, Enzo, Zaha, Felix to become permanent. Zaha, I'm not sure how highly likely that is at this stage, but maybe. We'll see. We've chosen Mudryk over Enzo, and that shows that the club is really clueless at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's as simple as that. Maybe, but if Benfica were just not willing to agree to any deal in installments, and we just, with financial fair play, cannot afford to do it without installments, then there's just no other choice. Like, then we can't do anything about that. Do you know what I mean? That's a problem. His end product, it's not great, but he's really hard to mark from what I've seen. Mudryk you're talking about, but his end product, at least in the Ukrainian League and the Champions League, seems good. So I guess we'll see. I mean, Ryan says Chelsea will sign Felix in the summer. I guess we'll have to see. Some positive news. There is an aggravation at Arsenal and a few Premier League clubs that the Chelsea hierarchy are getting involved in everything. Yeah, I hope so. His presser will be legendary. Chelsea, his dream club, and Shevchenko, his hero. Exactly. With Abramovich wiping out our 1 billion debt, the owners probably feel a hole burning in their pocket. Do they? Don't fully get what you're trying to say. Sorry. I guess Mudryk deal, that means Enzo is absolutely off. No way we can spend 220 million on 2 players, but we do need a midfield and a right back in this window. I agree with you, mate. I agree. Any Enzo alternatives? Well, reportedly, Caicedo is our main alternative, but we'll have to wait and see. I wish Havertz could be given a run of games at 10 of 10 as a last chance. If we could get the best out of him in attack with Nkunku next year, already Felix and Mudryk could be unreal. Could be, but again, I'm not sure how. Even Felix and Nkunku there's an issue with them working in the same team according to your expert. How are you going to add Havertz into that as well? And Mudryk, I don't even know. I'm not even sure how we are balancing the books with all the players and wages. Concerning? No. I think that's the least concerning part to me. I think Ornstein Dagger and the super chat. All right, Ornstein Dagger. Let's see what Jem said. This is an old dagger. Maybe it's an old dagger. But yeah, old dagger. Okay, yeah, it's just an old dagger. Fairs. But anyway, still a dagger. Big up yourself, Jem. Big up yourself, Jem. And big up yourself, Vic, for the Mexican dollar donation. I have no idea how much that is in euros, pounds, dollars, or anything, but I appreciate it regardless, mate, no matter how much or little it is. Which players will you sell to offset the spendings? I don't know how to feel, mate. I don't know how to feel either, Jem. I don't know how to feel either. Vic, Well, Pulisic? No. Sterling? Yeah, I'm selling Sterling. Sorry. Unless you obviously, but this is state right now, and most of these sales will happen in the summer. So obviously, my opinion could change based on the rest of the season. But Sterling, Ziyech, probably Havertz, but depends on, in my opinion, who we sign instead. I don't want to sell first and then sign. I think that's a stupid idea. Gallagher, I think he can make us good money and isn't good enough for us anyway. Potentially Ruben, but I think Ruben is a good squad option. He can play right wing back when we need it. Obviously, we want to play a right back anyway, so then I guess it's less needed. But I still see the use in him, just as a squad player, because he seems to be complain the least about things. Wouldn't mind Koulibaly. Now, we've already got Badiashile. Just get rid of Koulibaly, bring Levi Colwill in. You're sorted. We already have them. So I don't know, but yeah, those are the main ones I would probably pick, because I can't say sell Kante, Sergio Jr. because their contract is out, so can't say that. I wouldn't necessarily sell Kovacic to make money, and I wouldn't sell Mount to make money as of yet. If he has another bad season, maybe we'll get to this, but I think right now it's still of 3 first-team seasons with Chelsea, 3.5. There's still 2.5 good ones with a half, maybe plus another half, so 1 bad one. So I still don't think Mount is out of space where we need to sell him. But yeah, question is, does Potter even want this, or are they just buying players? Mate, I don't know. He apparently wanted Joao Felix, but I don't know, mate. I'm told that, I mean, who are you told by? That's the important part. I'm told that if everything goes as planned, Mudryk will be in the Chelsea training on Tuesday, as the squad have Monday off. The medical will be tomorrow or a Monday. Player set to fly to London. I'd hope we do the medical straight tonight and get the signings done to give Arsenal less time to do anything. Is Osimhen a realistic option in the summer, or someone else? Mate, I think for that we need to just wait until the summer and see how things go until then. Ladies and gentlemen, though, number one, I'm getting tired of just speaking like an absolute mad dog since the guys have left. We've also been now in total streaming for 2 hours and 40 minutes, and we've welcomed a new member, Mark Moxon. Appreciate you very, very much. Just become a member, ladies and gentlemen. If you also want to become a member now, first of all, when you become a member, this will happen. You can also become a member while I'm not live, but if you do it while I'm live, this I can show up on screen. And then now every message going on from now on Mark, if you want to leave another message, then so I can show people. You will have a little icon next to your name, which will highlight your message more to me. So the likelihood of me reading it out, if it's not super chat, is drastically bigger, and I try to get through as many as I can. But obviously, if you're one of these members that messages once every 5 seconds, I can't bring up everything. But I will, get you involved as much as I can. So Mark, welcome. Join button underneath if you're on desktop. Link in the description if you're on your phone. But yeah, get involved, ladies and gentlemen. Get involved, ladies and gentlemen. Again, though, if you've been here for a lot of this stream, part of the stream, I love you all. I love you all. Genuinely, subscribe if you haven't already. Again, if there's anybody of you that's new. Oh, Fabrizio tweet. Okay, let me check quick. Let me check before I round this one out. Get it up quick. Okay, I will highlight it so you guys can see it. Where is it? There we go. Understand Mikael Mudryk is now on a plane flying to London. His future enters into key. Final stages that Chelsea have offered contract valid until 2030. Chelsea hope to get it sealed this weekend. Arsenal keep their position. Bid made to Mudryk won't change. Oh, okay. So their bid won't change. Neither, well, according to this at least, wage offer, contract offer, and the offer to Shakhtar. So that puts us in a better position. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. It's interesting, though, that Fabrizio, at least for me, it still sounds like Ornstein saying personal is done. But it didn't, I guess, word it quite like that. It just said 7-year contract agreed. But why would Mudryk agree to a contract, but not and then not other things? That would be confusing to me personally. But hey, this is the latest. Chelsea apparently, have agreed 100 million euro deal with Shakhtar Donetsk for Mikael Mudryk. 70 million of a guaranteed. Yeah, I've got it up already, mate. I've got it up already. Or has he tweeted another one? Because this came out like a minute ago, so I doubt he tweeted another one. But I'll check in a second. What am I saying? Yeah, 70 million euros of a set fee, 30 million euros of in add-ons. But obviously, again, you have to change the valuation. 100 million euros is 88 million pounds, not 100 million pounds, 88 million pounds. Is this a Potter signing Kushal? I don't know, mate. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I mean, I'm sure he wants a winger and an attacker, a winger that's fast, a winger that's technical. I don't know how technical. That's a goal threat. I'm sure he's going to be happy about all of those things. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, let's see what happens. Isco's philosophy says it's a panic buy. Hey, maybe it is. Maybe it is. But is a panic buy somewhat understandable in the current situation? Maybe. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to round it out here. Appreciate you all for tuning in. Subscribe if you haven't already. Smash the like button on your way out. It's just one click of a button that doesn't cost you any money or any time. I will try to do this more in the future. I think maybe tomorrow after the game. Appreciate you, Dane. Appreciate it. Maybe tomorrow after the stream, after the game, I will initially do like a section on my own at the very beginning of the stream and then bring the guys in. But then not at the end, and then maybe for the preview new streams, I will do it at the end. I'll try to do something like that. Mad day today in football, absolutely. HNAKU, shout out to you, shout out Adar, shout out Dane, shout out everyone that's been involved. Kushal, of course, to you as well. Isco's philosophy, even though I've only seen his first message a minute ago. Ryan, shout out to all of you guys. Appreciate you all. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit the bigger subscribe button, hit the like button on your way out. It helps me grow, helps me spread these streams out to more people. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, upwards and onwards, and I'll see you next time.